Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Carmichael Dave is he's all over the place, man. We are well rested today. Let me tell you that right now. Shout out to wifey. She took care of business and she had the baby duty. She said, Allen, you're kind of behind. You're missing a good 12 hours of sleep the last couple days. So I got it back. All right. I got the sleep back. I got everything we need. And that's why we are taking you up to 2 p.m. the best way we know how. Fully loaded and fully rejuvenated. And that will be you after a good night's rest at the Kimpton Sawyer. If you win this, I'm ready.
Strikes again.
And I'm ready too. Kings Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. Sacktown Sports is giving you a chance to win a pair of lower level seats to Sacramento Kings versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer, $200 to Revival Downtown Sacramento social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending champions. We will give you the new, and I say it again, the new code word. You will only be counted when you use the new code word at 12 o'clock. All right, at 12 o'clock. So you will have an opportunity for that. And you got an opportunity to be a part of this conversation at the same number, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us as always. And what a game. Kyle is still wearing his Chiefs shirt, even though the Chiefs didn't get it done. The big bad wolf ain't so big, ain't so bad anymore. Trevor Lawrence is slowly creeping his way back to being worth his contract, or at least being worth, 75% of his contract. That was an outstanding game. And those are the games where you think, where has this Trevor Lawrence been? Well, maybe some guys do develop at different rates, and maybe not having Urban Meyer and going through all these different coaches, maybe finally getting Duval in there. Maybe they finally hit on a coach. Travis Hunter looked incredible. Brian Robinson, who had been the breakout rookie star last season, kind of struggled. He's on everybody's scouting report now. He looked great. And the Chiefs, I'll tell you this much. There has to be a correlation because we did a lot of prop talk, and Schmal and Miles did very well last night, even though Etienne didn't hit. But there has to be a correlation between Patrick Mahomes over about 30 rushing yards and losses. Every time that, because it just represents that they're not getting done what they want to get done in the run game. They're not getting done what they want to get done in the pass game. So Patrick Mahomes ends up running for his life. And we're going to discuss the window now as it is opening up for certain teams and maybe some new teams in the NFL. And if you haven't won, we are excluding teams that have won a Super Bowl within the last, 5 years. But if you haven't won a Super Bowl within the last 5 years and you're looking to finally end that drought and you're in that Super Bowl window, why there has never been a better time than right now. So we're discussing that great game last night. Like I said, the Kings and Dennis Schroeder. I think Dennis Schroeder might be the captain of the team at this point. The Kings and Dennis Schroeder addressing the sloppy practice that they had after a day off. So that was yesterday's practice. We have that sound for you. People are complaining about the kickoff rules. Right? 2 possessions or 2 completions and you're in field goal range. That's what it is right now. So let's discuss whether you have a problem with the new kickoff rules. And if you are a prop talker, you might have some problems with the new kickoff rules. There's less yards out there nowadays. Sam Quinn of CBS Sports, friend of the show, drops his West predictions, and I lay out how the Kings can sneak up. Surprise, surprise, and this is no slight to Sam, because nobody has the Kings listed any higher than 12th. I've seen 13th. I saw 13th yesterday. But as we break down some of these teams, I will provide you, that's at 11 o'clock, I will provide you a path for the Kings to sneak up. Now, some of this is just the eye test. Some of this is just how things have to break in the correct way. There's no analytics. All the analytics are going to say the Kings are right where they should be. So this isn't about analytics. This is about what happens if the analytics fail. And we've seen in the past the analytics can fail. The Pistons had no business being where they were at. Right? The Kings, the Bean Team season, had no business being where they're at. So how does that correlate to where the Kings will finish if we do want to see them get to the playoffs? Because that's the whole thing. When we do Tankathon, and we still got to do it from yesterday, when we do Tankathon and we talk about getting the good Boozer twin or one of these top picks, it's about one or the other, right? It's about making the playoffs. If you're going to make the playoffs, cool. Or if you're not going to make the playoffs, then just stink and get a pick. But there's nobody out here that is against making the playoffs. There's nobody out here against even losing in the first round. We would all, if you get a playoff game in Sacramento, nobody is against that. So let me be very clear when we have the conversations about Tankathon and things like that. It's not that nobody wants the Kings to succeed or it's championship or bust. How dare anybody say that? And not just Sacramento, but in a lot of these cities that haven't seen that type of success lately or ever. It's about picking a direction. Are you a playoff team or are you just going to stink and go get a dude? Enough with meet me in the middle like Maren Morris. We don't want to see that. So that's where this has been. So at 11 o'clock, I lay out how the Kings could pull it off. And all that could come crashing down. I'll tell you, because y'all know me now, right? It's been 2 going on 3 years. If the Kings lose this preseason game tomorrow and it's in a bad fashion, you know I have to overreact. I have to. Somebody's got to do it, right? We got too many people out here. Oh, well, it's just one game. Look, man, they lost all 4 last season, and that season was a disaster. So all this could come crashing down. All the things that they've been trying to tell us, 94 feet. Picking up 94 feet and crashing out on the shooters, all this stuff, high intensity. Okay, I want to see it because I believe if you're Doug Christie and you're making them do all this stuff in practice, you probably want to see it in preseason. So I'm incredibly excited. I might be the most excited person in Sacramento when it comes to a pointless preseason game tomorrow because they are trying to tell us that they have a new identity, and I know it'll be the first game, so it's not about winning or losing. It's about, okay, I want to see what looks different. This is the first time we will see the Kings on the court since that shellacking against the Mavericks at home. This is the first time. So this is a big deal. That's coming up tomorrow. Devin Carter had some interesting thoughts and interesting comments in response to a question about how his shot looks a little bit different. Bleacher Report has players from each team poised to take a leap. And you won't believe who they chose for the Kings. I'll give you this. If you were listening to the show yesterday, number 1, appreciate it. I got 2 kids now, so I appreciate all the numbers. And number 2, this person was not on our list when we had the conversation of who is the furthest from their ceiling. This person was not on the list, but Bleacher Report says this player on the Kings is most poised to take a leap. And we discussed this before. I think Kyle was maybe more on top of this than I was when it comes to the other guys that could be in this position or that the Kings have acquired. This is an opportunity, right? And I'll give you another hint. The guards have a tougher situation. If you are in the front court, you're going to have some opportunities. You're going to have some bites at the apple. So we have that for you as well. That's going to be at 12 o'clock. And how could I bury the lead, man? How could I bury the lead? In honor of the Kings season right around the corner, and by the way, October is just flying by. It's going to be Halloween before you know it. Pumpkin spice. I can't go anywhere without smelling pumpkin spice everywhere. So we know what time it is. I know people are excited. People like Christopher Ladd who love the fall more than the summer. Everybody's very excited for that. Kyle Ledbetter's giving a thumbs up. That's him as well. I'm a summer guy. I was born in the spring. I like the sun personally. But all you fall people, this is your time to shine. And with the season right around the corner, it is the return of the super secret surprise segment with a Kings player post-practice. I don't know who it is. All I know is the time frame. I never know who it is. All I know is the time frame is between about 12:30 and 1:15-ish. Somewhere around there, we will be joined by a Sacramento Kings player who's going to be sweaty coming straight from practice, and they are nice enough to sit with us and take a couple questions about how the team is going. So we will take guesses. There's no prizes involved, but let's take some guesses Who will be, let's get Bovada on this. There might be a Bovada ticker somewhere to get the bets on this. Who will be the first super secret surprise Kings guest for today? Kyle, I have my thoughts. I have my guesses. Because we just had media day, I do wonder if it'll be somebody that we just spoke with. And look, I'm very happy that I got to speak with them. I'm kind of wanting somebody else, but I got a weird feeling. This is just a weird feeling. I think the betting favorite is Keon Ellis.
It's funny that you said that because statistically, Keon Ellis has appeared the most on this show of any Sacramento Kings player, going back to old media days and super secret Sacramento Kings guests after practice, media day this year. Keon Ellis has been on the show 3 times.
Yeah, so he's the favorite. He's the favorite.
Got to be the betting favorite, considering that Keon holds the title. Also coming in as a close second is Isaac Jones.
Yep.
Been on the show twice. Doug McDermott's been on the show twice. Everyone else, I think, is 1 time, except for maybe some media days that I wasn't a part of last year. But I don't know. I think Keon's got to be the favorite. Then you got to go with one of the young guys. Either Devin, Neek, Maxime.
I'll take Neek because I have not spoken with Neek Clifford at all.
Yeah.
So I would be down with Neek. I would be down with Maxime. Any of them, of course, but especially guys that I haven't gotten to speak to yet. Missed them at Media Day, and Media Day was great. Those videos are still up on YouTube. Exclusive interviews that we had with Scott Perry and a lot of the players, and obviously the morning show and the Drive guys. They had people on, or players on as well. So that's all coming up on the show today. That's why, look, like I said, shout out. I got my rest right. Now, look, this is gonna have the sleep that I have is gonna have to last me probably the rest of the week. But I'm gonna be able to, filter it out and segment it out as needed. But I'm feeling good today. We are ready to rock and roll. Adam Schefter, as I mentioned, he weighs in on the Brock Purdy versus Mac Jones thing. The elephant in the room is the money, right? And nobody actually thinks Brock Purdy. To me, it's more of a philosophical argument as to whether or not you think Mac Jones can play as well as Brock. I don't think it's a conversation of a quarterback controversy. That's not how I want to approach it. My approach is, how much better is Brock Purdy than Mac Jones? I think that is a better conversation because we all know Brock is making $50 million more. And in his first year, there's no way they're not starting Brock whenever he is healthy. So I think my question is more philosophical as far as how much better is Brock than Mac Jones. And I cannot wait. Tampa and the Niners, Tampa, they're my baby at this point when it comes to my football teams because I love my boy Baker and the whole crew. They got the 2 running backs, Bucky Irving. They throw the running backs a lot, so Prop Talk, Schmal, and Miles loves that. So I can't wait for Bucks, and I believe Mike Evans will be out for that one.
Probably.
But I can't wait for Bucks Niners. And with all that being said, speaking of Baker Mayfield, this brings me back to Trevor Lawrence. And I do wonder, we don't talk about the Browns a lot on this show simply because there's nothing to talk about. We do talk about Shedeur Sanders as things come up. Dylan Gabriel looked fine. But in this capacity, I do wonder, with all of the regrets that Kings fans have, I don't know, the front office is gone, but ownership, whatever the case may be, I don't know how many regrets the Kings have in general, but Kings fans have a lot of regrets. We don't need to drudge them up, but quickly. Luka, Tyrese Halliburton, a lot of people would put De'Aaron Fox in that category.
Klay Thompson, Damian
Lillard.
Lillard.
You love the Klay Thompson one, and Kyle, I don't even think that's top 5.
It's crazy that it might
top
not.
5.
CJ McCollum is not even top 5, and that one would be
But that
painful.
is your number 1. You bring up the Klay Thompson one before Luka. I
mean, Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard, and CJ McCollum back-to-back years, and somehow that's not the worst draft pick they made that decade.
So with the Kings and everything that they have maybe regretted or not regretted, we don't know, it makes me think about the Browns and Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Baker's just continued to look really good, and the Browns have essentially said, man, we kind of messed this one up because Baker, he went to the playoffs, then that next season it was kind of rough, and they decided to move on from Baker, tried to bring in Deshaun Watson, who a lot of people forget is still on that Browns roster, and Baker is now doing his thing in Tampa. And I do wonder what the statute of limitation is for the regrets, because it would be one thing if Baker Mayfield immediately went to another team and did what he's doing with the Bucs. Do the Browns kind of get off the hook, right? The same way if Luka's now on the Lakers, right? So a lot of people were saying the Kings are kind of off the hook, and people are looking at the Mavs. Now, that was that little window before the Mavs got the first overall pick. But with the Bucs and Baker and the Browns, it's a lot of B's. Are the Browns somewhat off the hook because Baker didn't ball out on his next team? I think it was 3 teams later, because he was with the Panthers, got a cup of coffee with the Rams, and then ended up in Tampa, and it was kind of a prove it deal, and he figured it out. So I wonder if they look at it any differently. And what made me think about Baker is watching Trevor Lawrence. And the decision, same thing, one playoff run, didn't win that playoff game. In football, you just got to pay the guy. Trevor did win.
Yeah,
that game was so weird. Between the both of them, it's just 2 guys not living up to expectations between Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. So I always forget who won that game.
Oh, I will never forget it. Funniest.
So that was when Justin Herbert blew it.
That was, the 27-0.
Yes.
Technically, they both blew it, though, because,
Yes.
Lawrence threw, 4 picks in the first half of his
Right.
first playoff game, but the Chargers chargered.
So that's even better. Or one playoff win, right? They get in. After that, doesn't really work out. He's on his, 3rd coach, something like that.
Also, Baker has one playoff win, too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
With Cleveland, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Cleveland decided, even though he's got that one playoff win, it's been years, we're going to move on. The Jaguars, both number 1 overall pick, the Jaguars say we're going to pay the guy, and they haven't made their money back, right? Don't get me wrong. There's also a lot of bad contracts in the NFL. I mean, you got Tua. I just mentioned Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott, depending on who you talk to because of how much money he's getting. And I wonder if the Browns regret their decision on Baker Mayfield. And at the same time, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, what are they, 4-1 now? They haven't won anything. But the idea that he looked good last night. He's running around. I got to talk to Kayla Anderson when they come in for crosstalk, because that Trevor Lawrence rushing, it was at 12.5. He destroyed that. I think the first quarter, he's running around, he's flinging the football, he's spinning it everywhere, and everyone's saying, this is the guy from Clemson. And as people develop differently, whether that's in the NFL, whether that's in basketball, in the NBA, baseball's a little bit different because you got the minors, things like that. Patience is a virtue. Now, you want that patience to work out for you, and sometimes you don't know. But even though Baker has bounced around and he didn't do it on the very next team, you have to think the Browns, it's just the way Baker goes about it. I don't know if anybody has seen that Baker clip going around as he was talking trash to the Seattle Seahawks fan, and then after the game, he found the Seahawks fan, and he was basically saying, what's up now? That's the type of stuff that just, you talk about getting me up in the morning, that type of stuff gets me up in the morning. That's what I need out of my quarterback. Every quarterback isn't like that. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is even like that. But to see that and to be dealing with an argument between you have Deshaun Watson, don't need to say any other words, 49-year-old Joe Flacco and his 7 children, undersized Dylan Gabriel, and he is lefty, so I hope it works out, and Shedeur Sanders, who is the most polarizing player in the NFL right now. And all you had to do if you were Cleveland is trust yourself and trust the process. And I don't know if they regret it because it didn't work out in Carolina for Baker. I think it was more of a fill-in situation in L.A. because obviously they have Matthew Stafford.
He won that one random Thursday night game, though.
He did. And the Bucs bring him in on a prove-it deal. And, I mean, that is found money to me because they still have him on an outstanding contract. I wonder how the Browns feel today.
So I kind of think of the Browns Trevor Lawrence kind of situation you've outlined, kind of like what we talked about when there were Niner fans who were like, I don't want to pay Brock Purdy. We can find another Brock Purdy. The Jaguars made the call. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence isn't the elite quarterback that maybe we need him to be, but we're not going to be able to do better. How many years have we gone through the wilderness of quarterbacks from Bortles to Foles to David Garrard? Like, they haven't had a franchise quarterback since like the 90s. So they just went through the desert of trying to find a quarterback for so many years that they were like, look, he's pretty good. He's been through a couple coaches. We're going to give him the big contract because he's our franchise quarterback. Cleveland made the call that Baker was not that guy. And I kind of understand why, because I remember the year he played poorly before they traded him to Carolina. He had like a busted ankle, busted shoulder, like broken ribs. Like he just had 1,000 injuries that he probably shouldn't have played through. But they made the call that we can do better. Jacksonville made the call we couldn't do better, and Jacksonville appears to be more self-aware than Cleveland, as Cleveland goes right back to the desert of the empty desert of trying to find a quarterback, and there's no hope in sight.
And it's so funny that this is the second day in a row we're bringing up, and in a different capacity, bringing up an NFL team correlates, and you find parallels to the Kings. Because we can only move forward now, don't get me wrong, but it's almost as if, you know what I'm going to say, it's almost as if Baker Mayfield to the Browns, De'Aaron Fox to the Kings.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, the Kings had gone, DeMarcus Cousins aside, the Kings had gone so long without having
one playoff, and they didn't win it, but it's different in basketball. They got to a playoff series, took them to Game 7. And they made the decision that the Browns made. We think, and obviously there was a couple different things involved with Mike Brown, but we essentially think we can do better, or we're going to at least see if we can. We're going to bring in a Zach LaVine. We're going to bring in a DeMar DeRozan. And look, I would say, I don't know who's in a better spot between the Browns and the Kings. That's a really funny conversation.
It's the Kings.
It's definitely the Kings.
No, the reason I say that is the Browns made the worst transaction in the history of football immediately following getting rid of Baker.
Yes.
Like, as much as we can poo-poo what the Kings did, the Kings transaction stunk. I get it. They basically gave away De'Aaron Fox. But it's still not as bad as what Cleveland did, giving all that money and all those draft picks to a guy who they knew had all of these lawsuits stacked up against him. It's still
it's crazy.
Pales in comparison to what Cleveland did with Deshaun.
It makes the Zach LaVine bad contract convos look like a non-issue, because it is. Number one, he's on the court. And number two, compared to just the idea of the overpay, it's not even close. But I did see a lot of parallels between the Browns and some of their decisions and the Kings and some of their decisions. The difference is the Kings, obviously, they got picks, they got opportunities moving forward. But I'm watching Trevor Lawrence last night, and that goes for some of the teams right now. Have you seen enough? And where is that level where you pull the plug? Tua. He's had some success, and you paid him. Have you seen enough? And let's go younger. A Bryce Young, right? Do you feel like you've seen enough? If you move on from him, could it burn you? Do the Browns feel like they've been burnt? So it is fascinating how you can decide or not decide whether or not you've seen enough, because a lot of people probably at the time would have moved on from Trevor Lawrence. But I think Trevor Lawrence, that's a situation, and I go back and forth with the Brock Purdy thing, how people look at him differently because he got drafted last. Trevor Lawrence, 1,000% is still there because he was the number one pick. 1,000%.
And they knew they weren't going to be able to do better.
Yeah.
They're like, what? We're gonna go sign Case Keenum? We're gonna go sign Sam Darnold?
Well, I mean, that's what the Raiders would do.
That's what the Browns literally are doing.
Yeah.
The wandering. You don't move on from a quarterback unless you have a better option, right? The Seahawks.
It's like a job. It's like a job. You don't leave a job unless you have a better job on the table.
Yeah, you don't just do it just to do it, right? The Seahawks moved on from Geno for Sam Darnold. Not saying is better or worse, but they at least had an idea of what they wanted to do.
Great show coming up for you. Let's talk about the window shoppers. Whose window is the most wide open the rest of this NFL season? And Dennis Schroeder speaks on a sloppy practice on Monday, according to Doug Christie. They got to clean it up. Maybe they're a little tired. Allen Stiles, Sacramento Sports.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Carmichael Dave here with breaking news. American Energy Heating and Air is changing their name to American Energy Home Pros. No, they're not going to do poetry, not that kind of pros, as in professionals. Hey, listen, I've told you for months, they want to be your second opinion partner. Of course they do. They want to come out to your house for free. Take a look at whatever offer you've been given on your heater, on your air conditioner, and now your plumbing. And what will they do? They'll give you a replacement quote. They'll give you a second opinion, which does two things there. Number one, it lets you know that whatever service you've been quoted, you actually need. And number two, it's going to let you know, A, if you have a great price from somebody else, or B, more probably, if you have a better price from American Energy Home Pros. Been in business since 1981, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
I told y'all that I'm well rested today, and I'm so glad because news is coming out, okay? And as we were joking about 49-year-old Joe Flacco and he actually only has 5 kids, but I just keep joking. Him and his 18 kids are headed to Cincinnati. We are on to Cincinnati. The Browns are trading QB Joe Flacco. The Browns are trading QB Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick to the Bengals for a 5th-round pick. So the Browns, interesting. The Browns are getting a 5th-round pick, but they're giving up Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick. So that is a big one in Cleveland, in the Cleveland world, because now this is Dylan Gabriel's team. And if you are keeping score, that means Shador has got to be the backup. He is 100% the backup now. Now he is a couple bad games, whatever the case is, away from starting. And on the Cincinnati side, they had to do something. I mean, Jake Browning, shout out, local guy, and he showed some flashes towards the end of the game, but you can't just sell your season like that. You can't sell Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You can't just give up on a season, and that's what it seemed like. It looked like they were literally wasting everybody's time. So Joe Flacco is going to have a lot of toys to play with when he gets to Cincinnati, as they are just trying to power through with Joe Burrow being sidelined. And this is exciting stuff. My other thought is, why do all these teams hate Jameis Winston? I don't understand that either. Maybe Jameis will get the call because is he still on the Giants? Is he just in a corner somewhere?
He's somewhere.
Eating a W somewhere? That's what Jameis Winston's doing, but they decide to go with Joe Flacco. They're actually getting a pick as well, and they're giving up a 5th-round pick, the Bengals are, to get Joe Flacco in the building. We knew something had to be coming. It was just so bad in Cincinnati. And Jamar Chase, I mean, I think he had been doing the best he can do as far as just saying the right things, going about it the right way. But it was just bad. It was just bad football. It was bad football. It was I mean, that, and you know what's funny? Joe Burrow and the arguments about Joe Burrow, and the same way we've argued the Avengers conversation, how Brock Purdy doesn't look the same without his Avengers, how it's okay for Joe Burrow to have the Avengers, but it's not okay for Brock Purdy to have the Avengers, and all these conversations. What we learned is even with the Avengers, you can still stink. And Joe Burrow, I've been somebody who, even though I love Joe Burrow, has been a bit confusing because he's had such good weapons. Joe Burrow needs to take Jake Browning out for the best steak in Cincinnati, because he silenced, if there was anybody out there just talking about, Joe Burrow has a ridiculous group of, of skill set players, and Jake Browning just made Joe Burrow look like the MVP he should now go get the MVP from last season after how terrible Jake Browning made, because that's one of those offenses where, hey man, we might not be able to stop anybody, but we're still gonna be able to put up some points. Look at our offense. Jake Browning said not so fast.
Well, and the other thing is that their offensive line has gotten worse over the years now. Like, if you thought it was bad when Burrow first got there, it's somehow gotten worse now that Orlando Brown kind of stinks. So that's probably the difference, right? Because 2 years ago, when Joe Burrow had a season-ending injury, 2 years ago, Browning looked awesome on that team. Yeah. And I know they didn't make the playoffs, but he won a couple crazy games with comebacks, and it was like, wow, Jake Browning has resurrected his career. And now you put Jake Browning in front of that offensive line and with Chase Brown instead of Joe Mixon, and they look terrible. I mean, the offense is just complacent, basically, other than Jamar Chase catching a garbage time touchdown here or there. But
yeah, and a secondary receiver like T. Higgins, you would actually think maybe he would be able to sneak in because there's just so much attention on Jamar Chase, but you got to check, is he even playing? It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, they caved here to public pressure. Like, they just made this trade because people were yelling at them too much. Because Joe Flacco's not going to make them any better.
No.
He just got benched by the Browns, which, by the way, the drive from Cleveland to Cincinnati is like the same drive from Sacramento to Fresno, so Flacco can just commute.
Yeah, just caravan.
Yeah, family can stay in Cleveland. We'll just commute down to Cincinnati.
Just get a bus and a U-Haul, and you are there. So that is the news coming out of Cleveland. Joe Flacco is headed to Cincinnati. I have this just popped up, and I told Kyle, red alert, because this is, and I know I don't typically like the anonymous stuff, but an anonymous executive, and we're going to dive into this at about 12:30, so you really, really don't want to miss this, the very kind of nuanced conversation when it comes to, I think, a very realistic trade, and it goes back to what we've been saying as far as, hey, if you want to extend this window, there is a world where you can do it, and one of the names that we said is being brought up right here. An anonymous NBA executive says the Cavs should trade Darius Garland and believes Sacramento in a deal for Malik Monk could be a potential fit. Here's the quote. I think they need to trade Darius. The backcourt is too small with him and Donovan Mitchell. I love the Lonzo Ball trade. If I were Kenny Atkinson, I would start Lonzo, Donovan, DeAndre, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen and trade Darius. Sacramento was interested in him before getting Dennis Schroeder from Detroit. Maybe call them up and see if they want Darius for like Malik Monk and salary filler. Now, the funny thing is, we're getting reminded, Kyle, because we had quickly jumped in the trade machine. Since they have Lonzo, even though the money works, and it's more than trade filler, by the way, because Darius Garland's making $39 million and Malik's making 18. So that's a lot of filler. That's not a random $5, even $10 million. That's a lot of filler. So quickly, when Kyle threw it in the trade generator, it does work with Malik and Dennis Schroeder. But again, remembering that they have Lonzo, I don't know why they would want Dennis Schroeder as well.
Back to the bench, baby.
Yeah, back to the bench. The other conversation would be Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan. Obviously, this is more, and I know Darius Garland isn't extremely young, but he's about to hit his prime. You move off of Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan, you'd have to get somebody else from the Cavs. But I think that would be a really good deal specifically for both teams, but specifically for the Cavs, that their offense, I think they have enough defense. They run up and down. You would have Malik Monk, who would just be that spark off the bench. And honestly, DeMar DeRozan would also be another spark off the bench. And this comes down to what DeMar ultimately wants out of his career. You're 1,000% getting back to the playoffs. If DeMar, if you want to be a part of this and you're willing, you want to be you're okay with being a seventh man on the team that just finished first in the East, you can do that. The Kings can get a high-level point guard. Now, am I the highest on Darius Garland? Not particularly. He's 6 foot and makes $39 million. But if this is the path of not saying uncle, and let's see if we can compete, I'm willing to have the conversation. Would I do it? No, because you know what I want to do. Go get the good boozer. But if you do want to keep this train rolling, and if you're a Sacramento Kings fan that just wants to see your team make the playoffs, you do this deal.
So it's interesting. By the way, the DeRozan thing wouldn't happen with this construct of a deal because they would have to move either Strus or Lonzo or DeAndre Hunter, or I guess Dean Wade maybe to make it work, which I think they would probably rather just get the salary cap relief of adding Dennis Schroeder. And, you know, if Dennis Schroeder plays, great. If Dennis Schroeder comes off the bench, great. Or we'll reroute him somewhere else for something else we need kind of situation. So
I see what you're saying.
The DeRozan one probably doesn't happen unless DeRozan gets rerouted to another team. Like, he wouldn't end up on Cleveland, but the easy way is Schroeder, Monk, draft picks, go to Cleveland, Darius Garland. I think the Cavs would save like $30 million in luxury tax too.
And not to get too caught in the weeds, but does it matter or not that next season DeMar's contract isn't guaranteed? Wouldn't that give them some relief?
I mean, in the long run, yes, but not in making the trade. They would still. Because it's just, again, not to get in the weeds, but because DeRozan and Monk combined make more than Garland, the Cavs would have to trade another player.
I want Dean Wade. We need it. We need a Dean Wade.
But the Cavs don't want to part. Yeah,
but we need a Dean Wade. We can convince them.
The Cavs, because their roster is so top heavy, you have to take either Max Strus's giant contract, Dean Wade, Sam Merrill.
I'll take give me a Sam Merrill.
But they just extended him, so they're not. They want Sam Merrill.
But they didn't give me Dean. give me Dean.
They want Dean.
No, yeah, they want everyone. All right, so we'll dig into that even deeper at 12:30. So you do not want to miss that. When we see these anonymous execs, and even the point of they were interested in Darius Garland. Are we sure about that? You know what's funny to me? If the Kings, as it's been reported, because I don't know how much we heard about Darius Garland, if the Kings said no-go to Trae Young, how could they say yes to Darius Garland?
Yeah, I know our brains are warped from all of the Kuminga stuff, but early in the summer, there was the report that, like, the Kings are checking in on Darius Garland.
They checked. Checks and balances.
Yeah.
Checks and balances.
The Cavs said no.
That's right. On the other side, we're still going window shopping with which NFL teams have an opportunity now that the Chiefs are starting to struggle, and we're excluding, obviously, the Eagles and teams that have already won. Which teams have an opportunity to do something? Also, Dennis Schroeder talking about that sloppy practice. Do not move. We'll be right back. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, dwarf cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Bottom of the 10 o'clock hour. Really excited for 15 minutes from now. Sam Quinn of CBS Sports drops his 2-week out predictions. But look, y'all are going to say I got purple colored lenses on. And there are some times where I want to be optimistic, Alan, and that's what's going to happen at 11 o'clock. Okay? There are a lot of fans that like to complain. And trust me, once the season starts, if the Kings stink, I will be complaining. You know I keep it real. But there is a world where things work out for the Kings. And they can sneak on in. And I actually don't think it's as crazy as we all believe. So I'm 11 o'clock. You can call in 916-339-1140 and let me know, Alan, yeah, you're tripping. Right? This is you're Stretch Armstrong right now. You went too far. But I don't think it's going to be the case. So that's coming up at 11 o'clock. Right now, we're going to hear from Dennis Schroeder, and he is breaking down Doug Christie as far as the idea that yesterday's practice was a bit sloppy. Here it is.
Coaches said the energy wasn't there where it's supposed to be. We got to be better. I think we got to keep everybody, accountable, each other accountable, and bring the energy every single day.
Just stay healthy, man. I'm gonna keep saying it. The Coach Carter stuff, it's cool. And I don't want them to get tired during the game. I want them to be able to play with pace and have a lot of great endurance. Cool. You have a preseason game tomorrow, and this whole thing gets kicked off, and you got 82 games ahead of you. It's a long season. I understand what they're trying to do, and I agree with it for sure. But can you just stay healthy, right? There's only a couple more practices, a couple more weeks. The season's going to start. That's the number one thing for me. The number one thing. So you gotta keep it tight. I understand you don't want sloppy play, but crispy play and you're missing a bunch of dudes does not matter. It does not matter. I'm sorry. If you got in a bunch of young dudes, and that's why we looked up the different pace in 2025, half of the top 10, half of it was playoff teams. The other half was young dudes who had no clue what they were doing. So you can play fast with a bunch of young dudes, and look, that'll help the argument of tankathon. But if you want any chance at winning anything, you got to stay healthy. So I'm assuming they understand this balance, and I'll probably have some fun with whoever we have on during the 12 o'clock hour at the beginning of the 1 o'clock hour for our super secret surprise segment with a Sacramento Kings player. But that's just all I keep thinking. Just stay healthy, man.
Yeah, crispy plays doesn't work so well when the player is cooked on the bench.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Yeah. Nicely done, Kyle. Yeah. I'm glad you hit yourself with it. So
yeah, you're welcome. Can we just run the tankathon too, since we're talking about it so much?
We're not talking about it so much. I wouldn't say so much.
Talked about it last segment. You want the boozer, you know?
Okay. See, it always does this. My first one. I think there's something wrong when it's the first one. It always drops to 9.
So run it again. See what happens.
It's still at 9.
So one more time?
It's back to 8.
Okay, so we're getting closer.
What a terrible... Let me reset this thing. Hold on. We dropped to 11. This thing's broken. No, it's broken.
I don't think we've ever seen 11.
No, this thing is broken.
So wait, who had to jump for us to go to 11?
I don't know. I already reset it
Oh,
again.
God, dang it.
I reset it. No, this thing is broken today. It won't... You can't get above 8. I'm literally just pressing it, and it won't move past 8. Now we went back to 9. This is a nightmare. Back to 8. Back to 8. Staying at 8. No, I think this thing... I got to hit up the tankathon people. Down to 9. This is a nightmare. Wow. All right. Well, just put a bunch of 8s and 9s. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The last one with the number 1 pick.
After 12 tries.
Yeah, that's right. In the NBA draft, the Kings get whoever they want. Okay, well, yeah, put a bunch of 8s and 9s, Kyle.
The last time we did it, I think, was October 1st, so we got a lot of makeups here.
Okay, well, that was a rough stretch right there. As far as the window shoppers, these are my teams. And, Kyle, I think you added a team to this list, and I'm going to ask you a question about who you added to this list. I have a list of the window shoppers. It's now or maybe never for these teams and their cores to win the whole thing. I have excluded, with the Eagles, I know the Eagles are probably the best team in the NFL, but the drama that they have, the Chiefs just don't look the same. This is a perfect opportunity for the window shoppers to finally purchase something, being that Super Bowl ring. My list, Kyle, and I don't know, I see you added a team, but my list was a short one. Not the Ravens, obviously, or the Bengals, because they've struggled so much. My list is simple. And I don't think the Bucs are there yet as much as I love the Bucs. So my list is very simple. The Niners, the Lions, and the Bills. Those are my 3 window shopping teams that it's kind of now or never. And I know the Eagles have just lost 1 game, but I don't know. The drama that they always have. Nick Sirianni's kind of a ticking time bomb. I just don't know. I know I read that Saquon's a little bit beat up. That going back-to-back is tough, and that Super Bowl hangover, it can really get you. Saquon's in every dang commercial that I see. They got a lot going on over there, and obviously I just talked about the Chiefs, and the AFC is just a bit down. I think it's now or never for the Niners, Lions, and Bills, and I cannot believe the team that you added, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. So if you're saying it's now or never for those teams, are you just saying for the Ravens and Bengals it's never?
I'm saying not this season.
But But they still have a chance down the line, right?
Yeah. I'm saying specifically this season.
But you're saying the window, if it's not this year, then it's never. So the window is closing for these teams.
I'm just saying this is the best. This is probably one of the last, as well as one of the best opportunities for you to get it done. I would have put the Bengals. The Bengals should be, or excuse me, the Ravens should be in here, but Lamar and they're 1-4 or whatever it is. So I can't put the Ravens. I'm not really thinking, when I say now or never, I'm not necessarily saying never. I'm saying that the Chiefs are really down and they're not going to always be down. And the Eagles are in a weird spot and they're probably not always going to be in a weird spot. And these teams have a ton of momentum.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. So It's not now or never, but that's why I said now or probably never.
Okay, then I guess because those teams have gone further in the playoffs than the team I added, I guess mine doesn't quite match up with this very easy to follow list that you're coming up with.
If you're putting this team, then I would put the Bucks too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the Steelers.
Yeah.
The team I added was the Steelers, which A, they're going to win their division this year, so that's a guaranteed home playoff game. B, they also play in the AFC, so the AFC South exists. So that means they're probably going to be a top 3 seed.
Right.
So all you have to do if you're the Steelers is not lose in the wild card at home, which they have done before under this current coach and group, and then win a playoff game in either Buffalo or Kansas City or, I don't know, someone else who wins the AFC West. That's probably going to be Kansas City, but it could still be the Chargers or the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first, because like I said, I got rid of NFL ticket. I got these kids, man. But I haven't really seen the Steelers play this season outside of red zone. I don't know what the Steelers do well. They got rid of my guy from Antioch, Najee Harris. They moved on from Najee Harris. So I don't know. I got Jalen Warren on my fantasy team, but I have not watched the Steelers play at all.
They look pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they're going to win, but you're saying if you remove the Chiefs from the mountain, who, again, the Arrowhead Invitational, the last time the Chiefs did not play in the AFC Championship game, I was a junior in high school. So, yeah, if you remove the Chiefs from the equation and you now have an open season on the AFC, then who else other than the Bills has a shot?
For me, it's more about teams that had been knocking on the door. Not, the Steelers haven't really been knocking on the door. The Bucks not really.
Been knocking at 9-8.
NFC championships. They've been to a Super Bowl. This is it for the Niners, Lions, and Bills. This is another outstanding opportunity. You know what I'm wondering now, and I'm trying to recall the contract that Daniel Jones is on. Is he doing the same thing he did in New York? Was it a contract season when Daniel Jones went off?
Yes.
So now I'm assuming maybe it's a 2-year deal, but it could be a 1-year deal. If it's a 1-year deal in Indianapolis, this guy is a finesser amongst all finessers because they're going to go to the playoffs. He's going to get paid, and then he's going to turn into a pumpkin again.
Let's see. Daniel Jones signed a 1-year, $14 million contract.
Incredible. He's going to get a huge deal and turn into a pumpkin. What a guy.
Yeah. He's doing the Teddy Bridgewater thing.
What a guy. I mean, this guy that is how you do it. Now, you could just play well all the time, but what's the fun in that?
No, Daniel Jones is one of the most incredible careers because normally you talked about Baker Mayfield and Trevor Lawrence earlier, and their careers, it was like they had 2 good seasons or 1 bad season and 2 good seasons, or 2 good seasons and 2 bad seasons, and teams were having a tough time figuring out what it was. Daniel Jones is like 4 awful seasons, 1 great season, and teams just lining up to pay him. It's been what a ridiculous career for Daniel Jones. The stupid thing, though, about his, though, is that I think the Colts are going to be the team that gives him the giant contract to turn into a pumpkin. Because normally it's like, you go to another team and turn into a pumpkin.
Right, the Sam Darnold thing. But I think the problem...
Foles in Jacksonville.
Right, I don't know. I think the difference is the Colts, to your point, they're scoring from Anthony Richardson. So it's a cycle with teams. Hey, we haven't gone and got a young guy in a while, so let's go do that. Or there's, hey, a young guy just burned us, so let's go get a bridge guy that we know can play the game of football. And the Colts essentially just got burned by Anthony Richardson, and they could keep him on the team and now just pay Daniel Jones and just keep pretending like Anthony Richardson's ever going to be ready. He's not.
So
he's not.
Remember how I keep making the joke that Anthony Richardson is the type of prospect that I'm like, will get a coach fired?
Yeah.
Like Trey Lance, Anthony Richardson, would have been Malik Willis, Jalen Milroe, those kind of guys. Anthony Richardson might have gotten Shane Steichen and the GM Chris Ballard fired, but Daniel Jones is going to buy them more time. So what they're going to do is extend Daniel Jones to buy themselves more time in this job.
And then they're probably all going to get fired eventually.
Yeah, whenever Daniel Jones turns into a pumpkin.
11 o'clock hour on the other side. All right, enough talking about it. Sam Quinn of CBS Sports drops his 2-week out predictions. I tell you how the Kings can climb up that ladder. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Sacramento gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
1 hour down, 3 to go, and we are 1 hour away from our Sacramento Kings Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. One of the best giveaways. I said probably the best giveaway on this show. Apparently, it's one of the best giveaways in the history of the station ever. And here's why. Not only are you getting a pair of lower level seats to Kings versus the Thunder November 7th, you're getting a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer. That's where the players stay, by the way. This is real deal. $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. All right? It's got elevated vibes, a stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam if the Kings are able to get that win over the defending champs. So we are going to give you that special keyword to text in and get your number thrown into the conversation. Put into that hat. Every day, the more you text, the more times your number gets thrown into that hat. So we will give you that secret code at 12 o'clock. So doesn't matter if you are listening on the app, doesn't matter if you are listening on the TuneIn app, wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening or watching on YouTube, as long as you get that number and or that keyword and you text it during my show, right? During my show before 2 o'clock, you will be a part of this process throughout the rest of the week, and then we're going to pick a winner. So that is coming up in exactly an hour. In a little over an hour, we will be joined by our super secret surprise Kings guest. That super secret surprise Kings segment is back. And apparently, I was talking to some people with the Kings. I was talking to my boss. Apparently, this year it's going to be better than ever. It's going to be bigger than ever. We're going to have a lot of people on the show right after practice to keep everybody in the loop on how the vibes are vibing with the Sacramento Kings. And speaking of the vibes vibing with the Sacramento Kings, this is from Sam Quinn of CBS Sports. He dropped his 2-week out prediction for the Western Conference. So Sam has the Oklahoma City Thunder finishing first in the West. He's got Denver 2, Houston 3, LA 4, Timberwolves 5, Warriors 6, Clippers 7, Spurs 8, Grizzlies 9, Mavericks 10, Blazers 11, Sacramento Kings 12, Suns 13, Pelicans 14, and the Jazz 15. So I've seen the Kings anywhere from, I'm be honest with you, I really haven't even seen them 11th. Most places I've seen them 12th, and last night I saw somebody have them 13th, which means I guess they think the Suns are going to be better or the Pelicans. I don't know.
One of the two.
I saw it and I almost vomited, so I just continued to keep scrolling. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to get real purple lensed up in this piece. And there's nothing wrong with that from time to time. I know it can sound unrealistic, but the reality is these predictions come out every season, and Sam, his predictions are really not that much different than any other outlet, but I chose Sam's because I saw it pop up on my timeline. He's been on the show before. We appreciate Sam. We plan on having him on the show more often throughout the season. We have a lot of surprises for you throughout the season. People that are content creators for Sacramento, or not for Sacramento, but from Sacramento. So very excited to reveal all that stuff for you. But that's how Sam Quinn sees the West shaking out, and that's pretty standard, right? Now I'm going to break down not what the Kings can do, because we know what the Kings are going to have to do. They're going to have to play their you-know-what's off. So this is all assuming the Kings play their you-know-what's off. And you get a great rookie season from Nick Clifford. You get what you need to get from Keegan. DeMar is DeMar. Zach LaVine continues to be a 50-40-90 guy. Domantas Sabonis returns back to his MVP ladder form. Malik Monk returns back to his six-man form. That we know what the Kings need to do. This is with everything going right for the Kings. But you're still going to need help, in my opinion. So where is the help that you can get? So I'm going through, I'm not worried about the third seed, the 2 seed, and the 1 seed, but I'm going through 11 through 4 and issues that may pop up with these teams that could allow for the Kings to slide up. Now, that's not to say the Kings are going to be 4th in the West, but if certain things happen, how the Kings can kind of finesse their way into the playoffs or even the top of the play-in. So let's start with number 11, the Blazers. The Blazers have become dogs defensively. Shaedon Sharpe, apparently he's looked incredible during training camp, but they did move off of Anthony Simons. Scoot Henderson is out. And my question with the Blazers, as much as I love Denny Avdia, my question with the Blazers, they have Donovan Klingon. They took the other center as well that everybody is really high on. You have a couple different situations going on. Drew Holiday is not going to do very much offensively. And as much as they're going to be dogs, they're dang near, to be honest, in a weird way, almost the Hawks of the West. Really good defensively. Not sure where their offense is going to come from. So if they just don't jive offensively, and even though Denny is Denny, if they're not getting enough offense, I could see them struggling. And that would be a way that the Blazers do not exceed any expectations. That's where we're starting here. And Kyle, I'll go through all of them, and we can discuss where you think I'm tripping and what is realistic. So that's where I'm at with the Portland Trail Blazers. Number 10, the Mavericks. It's very simple. Health, injury luck, health luck. This team, they're still waiting for Kyrie to come back. You're dealing with Anthony Davis, who it's been reported he is now wearing, number one, they said he was, they're saying he's out of shape. He got asked about it. That's why when Kings, remember when De'Aaron was here and he was joking around with that, the funny Marco, and he was saying, I love these questions more. He kind of took a swipe at Sacramento media. Look, man, they're out there in Dallas essentially asking Anthony Davis, do you feel fat? I mean,
he lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
They're essentially asking him, hey, what's up with your playing weight? And Anthony Davis said, I like to come in heavier than my playing weight because I lose weight. Then somebody found what he weighed going into last season, and it was not what he weighs now.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
And somebody said that Dallas barbecue is nothing to be played with. So the Kings, look, when Kings players, they don't want to deal with it out here in Sacramento, we are very, very light, and sometimes much to the fans' chagrin. Compared to the hard hitters that are in Sacramento media, that is nothing. You got people, are you fat? Do you feel fat, Anthony? How do you feel?
You know what else Dallas media is right now? Fed up with the Mavericks.
Oh, yeah. So, Anthony, what's up, man? So before I even got to the weight, he's also, I read, going to have to play with protective eyewear for the rest of his career. He's had some problems with his eye, getting poked in the eye a lot. I feel like he almost gets poked in the eye once a game. So just injury concerns with the Mavericks. Cooper Flagg did look good. They got him running point guard at times, but it's just injury luck. Kyrie's coming back from ACL. He's no spring chicken. Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis. It kind of speaks for himself. So that's an easy one with the Mavericks. Next, we have the Grizzlies. Now, number one, everybody knows that's been listening to the show, I don't believe in the Grizzlies. I think they don't make enough sense. Now, without Desmond Bane, I don't think they'll have enough three-point shooting. Ja can't shoot. KCP forgot how to shoot. Jaren Jackson Jr. in his push shot, somehow it goes in. But I'm going to say the slow start. They have a ton of injury, and Zach Edey is huge, but he does not space the floor at all. I think they have spacing problems. That's how I feel about it. They got the new coach who's supposed to be kind of an innovator, but I don't see that working out. So you could say spacing issues, but I'm also going to say slow start because they're not going to be very healthy to start the season. And you could also say Ja Morant in general. It's one thing. Here's the crazy thing about the Grizzlies. Desmond Bane got paid because Ja Morant can't stay on the floor for whatever reason. Now they don't have Desmond Bane. So Ja Morant, who essentially always misses time, when he misses time, how are they keeping their heads above water? So you could say the slow start, which is connected to injury, and I also think there are some spacing issues. So that's where I'm at with number 9, the Grizzlies. Number 8, because of all those years, or I guess those last couple months, where we were going back and forth with the Spurs, whether or not De'Aaron Fox was going to be traded, and there was a lot of back and forth about that. I still have a ton of, I'm following a lot of Spurs media members still, and they're also just floating around my timeline. Apparently the word on the street, and this is where it can turn into a stretch now that we are at number 8, apparently the word on the street is that Spurs media is concerned that the Spurs can't shoot. The Spurs cannot shoot. You're starting De'Aaron Fox, who is not a shooter. Stephon Castle is not a shooter. You got Wemby, who is a shooter, but Wemby is Wemby. The word on the street is that they are wondering, and I know they got Harrison Barnes, who he can sit in the corner and do the thing, but the word on the street is that the Spurs can't shoot. And it was a clank party of 10 in one of their scrimmages or preseason games that they had, and the Spurs media is worried that there is not enough shooting in a shooting-focused league. You can call that a stretch if you want, but let's think about who they're starting and who they've had. Obviously, and Dylan Harper, he's another one. They have they have 3 point guards, and none of the point guards are really shooting-focused, I would say. So the question for the Spurs is whether or not they're going to be able to shoot the basketball. Because right now, as you add in some of the newer guys, like we said, no more Chris Paul, and last season they're starting Harrison Barnes, Julian Champagnie, just a lot of different. It was just kind of paper mache together, but the word on the street in San Antonio is that the brothers can't shoot outside of Wemby. Now, Wemby will make up for a lot of that, and you got you got different guys, don't get me wrong, and obviously Harrison Barnes can shoot it, but that would be a thing. If the Spurs can't shoot, that could hold them back. Now let's get to number 7, the Clippers. Unction number 1. There are multiple unctions. The Clippers, unction number 1. You just got, and I know he only, played half the season, but he played the second half. You got one of the healthiest seasons on the back end, of course, from Kawhi Leonard. And really the only reason they were in that spot is because you had James Harden, who turned back the clock, who James Harden has always been pretty healthy. But James Harden is 37, 38. You move on from Norman Powell, and he didn't get to be an all-star, but he should have been. You move on from Norman Powell. Yes, you brought in some guys, and they're going to be good, don't get me wrong. But the idea that if you were a betting man and you're betting the over-under on Kawhi Leonard and the amount of games he's going to play, he just misses games. That's typically what it is. And James Harden just had a really good season. Do we think James Harden's going to be all-NBA again? They were, as we were talking about the NFL teams that had that window, and I know they came up against Jokic, who is the ultimate window closer, if you will. I just came up with that off the top of my head. Patrick Mahomes, the window closer as well. They had a great situation. They had a great opportunity, the Clippers did, and they blew it. And I'm finding it hard to believe they're going to run it back, be just as healthy, be just as good 2 seasons in a row. I don't see it with the Clippers.
How do we feel about the term window washer?
I like window closer. What are you washing windows for?
I'm just saying, what's a window closer? You don't have someone who closes your windows for you.
You got to crank that thing. You don't remember cars back then, Kyle, but you used to have to. You have to crank it up and you have to crank it down. If it got cold, it'll jam a little bit. You got to get some WD-40. So the Clippers just old. And again, you could say, Allen, you're reaching, maybe, but they're old, man. And Kawhi just they were all ready to go that playoff series, and they didn't get it done.
You're also not reaching. They are literally the oldest roster in NBA history. That is a true fact. They are statistically by age the oldest roster ever.
And I would say not too far behind them, number 6 for the 6th seed, the Golden State Warriors. Not only are they old, and Draymond's going to miss time, and Jimmy Butler's going, I think they're going to be fighting now. Number 6, you're obviously fighting to stay out of the play-in, but I think they're going to be right here. Draymond's going to miss time. Jimmy's going to miss time. Steph's probably going to miss some time. And by the way, you have somebody in the building that doesn't want to be there. I know Mark Spears.
Actually a fact.
I know Mark Spears said that preseason game they had, you saw a lot of joy with Jonathan Kuminga. He's got the new money. He's looking good. He's smelling good. He's feeling good. Let's see when the season starts. So they're old and they have drama. And January is going to come around and this thing's going to get really sticky. Now, they can play through it, I'm sure, but it's right there in front of you. Old and drama. So that's the 6th seed. The 5th seed, this is where I can probably get called out for stretching it a little bit. This is how I've always felt about the Timberwolves, and clearly they've still had a lot of success. They didn't really do anything to help out Anthony Edwards. It's still going to be the Anthony Edwards show. They have Julius Randle. I just think it could be just too much Ant again. And these teams continue to evolve defensively. And Julius Randle had a pretty good season. I guess you could argue Dante DiVincenzo was awful, and they still went pretty far. He was a complete negative in that trade this first season. But I think it's very simple. They lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who think what you want about him, but they don't have that defensive prowess anymore. So I think it could just be too much Ant and not enough secondary players. The point guard position, we still don't know who their point guard of the future is.
Still praying it's Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, they're still just hoping Rob Dillingham can be that guy. So there it is. And then I'll stop with number 4. It's very simple, as he just made a big deal to release his Hennessy ad. LeBron did. I just think it's le drama. It's le drama. And that's not LeBron specifically. And LeBron's probably going to miss some time. But I think between LeBron, all the personalities that they have, Luka, I think it's going to look great at times. But also Austin Reeves, we've said before, last season there were times where Austin Reeves looked a bit out of place. And where does he fit? And I know he said, I'd rather be who I am now than go chuck it on a different team, all right, buddy, we'll see once the season starts.
We'll see what that contract looks like.
And they got DeAndre Ayton. I don't really know what that roster is supposed to be. They did make some improvements. I think DeAndre Ayton is better, slightly better than what people think. That, like I said, it's the 4 seed. It's a bit of a reach. Maybe they'll probably be fine, but there is some drama that could go on. And Luka has missed some time, and you could always throw the injury stuff in there because Luka's missed some time, and LeBron is 47 years old. So that's my take on if the Kings do everything right. You don't, and all 7 of these things is not going to happen. But you don't need all 7 to happen. All you need is about 3 or 4 to happen.
To get to the play-in 8 seed.
To get to the play-in 8 seed. That's really the path. 3 or 4 of these things can happen, and you could be the 8 seed and give yourself 2 bites at the apple.
Okay, so where do we want to start by dissecting this? As now optimistic Allen is going to fade away for...
Yeah, once tip off.
Yeah.
What did you... From what I said, what is ridiculous and what isn't ridiculous?
I mean, none of it is ridiculous because these are just concerns about the teams. I will say, Spurs can't shoot, not a good enough reason to put them below the Kings. Okay. Got to do better than can't shoot.
Can't shoot.
You could say, again, health, because we know De'Aaron Fox. Someone was asking on the text line.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not even starting the season. Thank you. You're helping me.
De'Aaron's
not starting out the season.
Yeah, De'Aaron's not going to play to start the season. Wemby's coming off of blood clots.
Yeah.
So we're assuming Wemby's going to play, but it's not like you can guarantee health with a 7'5" guy who shoots threes and blocks shots.
Right.
But yeah, can't shoot. Not a good enough reason for the Spurs. While I'm high on the Blazers, I understand the Blazers are unproven, and therefore there is a world where they actually don't make improvements, and Chauncey Billups gets fired at the end of the season, and they underperform. Obviously, they're already missing Scoot, which, while that's going to hurt, they're going to be able to make up for that by slotting Sharp in and having Drew Holiday play some point guard.
Like Drew Holiday, I don't know how much they feel like they're going to need from Drew Holiday, but again, Drew Holiday will probably miss time.
Yeah, but I guess originally the vision was Scoot and Drew would be the backcourt along with Advia. You know, Advia and Kamara kind of as the wings.
Yeah.
And Sharp would come off the bench, but now you can just slide Sharp in and Drew. So I don't think the Scoot thing's going to... They're uniquely positioned to weather the Scoot Henderson injury.
Sure.
But...
I mean, look, Scoot is not an all-star. We're not talking about an all-star in Scoot.
No, but I will say just because I'm high on the Blazers, I acknowledge that yes, there is a world where the Blazers are not good. So I'm with you on that one. Mavericks, no idea what to do with them. So while I think they are more talented than the Kings, no idea what to do with fat Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg, who's never played, and no Kyrie for part of the D'Angelo Russell's their starting point guard.
D'Lo, and he's gonna be D'Lo.
Yeah, well, the Mavericks are more talented than the Kings, unequivocally. Still just don't know how the collection of talent is going to mesh together, which, by the way, is the same concern the Sacramento Kings have. How is your collection of talent going to mesh?
We are assuming it is working. It has worked for the Kings. By the way, the Spurs 20th in three-point percentage. You know who was 19th?
The Kings?
The Sacramento Kings.
I was going to say. But, Zach LaVine was only here part of the season.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
And according to Doug Christie, Keegan Murray's going to shoot 10 threes a game this year.
It was very simple. It's extremely simple when you break it down like that.
So, yeah. Grizzlies, totally with you. Yeah, Grizzlies might be terrible this year. Totally in agreement.
Okay,
on that
so
one.
we have the Mavericks are the wild card, but you agreed. You saw the vision with the Blazers. You saw the vision with the Grizzlies. That's 2.
I said I could see a world for the Blazers.
Okay. Well, you see 1, and the Mavericks, you're going to give me 2 out of 3 because you're not getting the Mavericks and the Blazers.
That is fair. I can't argue that. Yes, the Mavericks. If the Mavericks and Blazers are both in the top 8, it's just cancel Christmas.
Oh,
I mean,
it's just no. Now it's tankathon time.
Come on. Now it's over.
Yeah.
If the Mavericks and the Blazers are in the top 8, so I guess in order for this to work, one of those teams does have to be bad.
Yes.
Let's keep going down the list. Clippers, that's just, again, old and injuries kind of go hand in hand, right? Because there's nothing wrong with putting together an old team. The Clippers were old as hell last year, and they won 50 games. But old, you're kind of conflating with injury. So I understand the idea of like the Clippers could get hurt and it derails their season. Although, again, the Clippers are deeper than the Sacramento Kings, as old as they might be.
John Collins.
Brooke Lopez.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah. Chris Dunn.
I don't know, man.
Chris Paul is still there.
Yeah, Chris Dunn's locking people up. I don't know. The Norman Powell thing is interesting because the stuff, again, that Vegas doesn't assume is going to happen. Nobody saw Norman Powell doing that, and now he's gone. And he had a good amount I know he missed some time as well, but he had a good amount of production. So not getting that, and I know they're kind of doing it by committee outside of Kawhi and James Harden, but your two stars, one is Kawhi, who can't really stay healthy, and the other is James Harden, who's like 37.
Yeah, I mean, while I understand the Clippers are a more balanced roster by trading Norman Powell for John Collins, I don't think they're a better team by trading Norman Powell for John Collins. But they also added Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal.
Oh, Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal will make up for that Norman Powell loss, you know.
We think.
I mean, probably. Bradley Beal's still a pretty good player. He just made so much money on the Suns that it was cost prohibitive.
Yeah, that Bradley Beal thing is kind of annoying, but all right, who's next?
Warriors. Look, the only silver lining is they have Steph Curry, because other than that, I just don't think that team is very good.
Yep. So we got 4 here.
Again,
the Kings right now are the 9 seed.
Now hold on, there's levels. There's levels to this too. I disagree with Sam Quinn that they're going to be a top 6 seed. I think the Warriors are pretty firmly in the play-in.
Yes.
Like, even if Jimmy misses his 30 games and Draymond misses his 30 games, or he chokes out Rudy Gobert again or something, like, they seem pretty play-in-y to me, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think, but it's not like the Mavericks, where the Mavericks were like the 10 seed. Like, I think the Warriors are fluctuating somewhere between 7 and 10.
Yeah.
And unless something really goes bad, I don't think they're going to fall below 11, because Steph Curry just makes it so that you're not going to fall below. Even that year that they lost to the Kings at Golden 1 in the play-in, Draymond got suspended for like 20 games that year. Clay was washed. Steph missed like 30 games in that season.
Yeah, Santos started like 40 games.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everything had to go wrong in order for them to fall to 10. And this team right now is better than that version of that team, because they have Jimmy Butler. So the Kings will have to get at least the 8 seed to surpass the Warriors, would be my guess. Timberwolves and Lakers, your explanations were not good. The Timberwolves are excellent. The Lakers have Luka. So
I smell some Taco Bell wagers before the season starts on the Timberwolves.
I don't know why you keep hating on the Timberwolves. I told you that the Timberwolves were going to be good last year, and you just won't believe me.
Look, man.
The Timberwolves are going to probably lose in the second round of the playoffs, but the fact that they're in the West, almost a lock to make the second round of the playoffs,
they're just wasting everyone's time then.
Yeah, I mean, they're never going to win a championship with Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle as their 2 best players, but they're still going to be really good.
So the way I see it, the Blazers, the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, Spurs are bricks. They can't shoot. The Clippers are old men. The Warriors hate each other, and they're old too. It's an easy 8 seed for me. Easy 8 seed for the Kings.
If everything goes right.
All you need is that. And that's not too many. If you look at it like a parlay, right? Like Schmal and Miles would. If you look at it like a parlay, you just need 4 things to happen. That's 10x payout. And that 10x payout is the same cost of those playoff shirts that the Kings will get if they lock down the 8 seed. It's very simple. It's very simple. And then they get to face the same team that you will see them face November 7th if you win this Sacramento Kings Kimpton Sawyer giveaway, which is coming up in about 30 minutes. That's
segue.
Yeah, that's right. I told
again.
you, I'm on fire. That's coming up in 30 minutes when we return. Devin Carter, and I have not heard this. Okay, Kyle put this on our rundown. Devin Carter has an interesting response to a question about his new shot form. I can't wait to break it down with each and every one of you. Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-378-7241. 800-378-7241. Again, that's 800-378-7241.
Carmichael Dave here with breaking news. American Energy Heating and Air is changing their name to American Energy Home Pros. No, they're not going to do poetry, not that kind of pros, as in professionals. Hey, listen, I've told you for months, they want to be your second opinion partner. Of course they do. They want to come out to your house for free. Take a look at whatever offer you've been given on your heater, on your air conditioner, and now your plumbing. And what will they do? They'll give you a replacement quote. They'll give you a second opinion, which does two things there. Number one, it lets you know that whatever service you've been quoted, you actually need. And number two, it's going to let you know, A, if you have a great price from somebody else, or B, more probably, if you have a better price from American Energy Home Pros. Been in business since 1981, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Need cash fast? Tap into the value of your home with a home equity line of credit from Valley Strong Credit Union. Whether it's for home improvements, debt consolidation, or that dream vacation, you can get your cash offer in minutes. That's right, just minutes to unlock the power of your home's equity with no hard credit pull to see how much cash you can get. No stress, no waiting. Just smart local banking that puts you first. Grow your possibilities with Valley Strong Credit Union. Visit valleystrong.com to get started today.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
"30 minutes away from our keyword for the Kings Kimpton Sawyer giveaway, thanks to our friends and our partners at Kimpton Sawyer, as well as Revival, downtown Sacramento's social spot, and of course, the Sacramento Kings. taking you up to 2 p.m. We just explained how the Kings are going to sneak into the playoffs. It was very simple, right? You just need 2 or 3 very possible things to happen. The bottom segment of the Western Conference, there are a lot of question marks, and there are a lot of old people. There's a lot of gray hair at the bottom of the West, and I got gray hairs, so I can say that. There's a lot of gray hairs at the bottom of the West.
Man, I can't believe we finally gotten to the point where Devin Booker is a gray hair.
No, that's the basement of the West. I said I meant the bottom of the playoff picture for the West.
Yes, old people like Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, and Anthony Davis and his rec specs and
D'Angelo Russell.
Kyrie got grays. Okay,
11-year NBA veteran D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, there's a lot of gray hairs bottom of that West. So you never know. You never know.
Is Gafford still there? For some reason, I just feel like he's gonna get traded like every offseason. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, him and his headband. I'm not sure.
Like any week now, he's gotta be traded because I know they still have Lively. Did you see Lively grew 2 inches apparently over the summer?
It's just enough with that.
Yeah, Gafford is still there. Yeah.
Hey, they were supposed to break the NBA when they went to the finals. We need a 2-big system, just like the Mavericks.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of Luka. All right, Kyle, let's hear this spicy response that Devin Carter had when he was asked about his new shot form. Here it is.
Have you tweaked your shot at all?
Have I tweaked my shot?
In terms of getting the shut off a little quicker?
Y'all could be the judge of that.
Is there less arc? Did you take some of the arc out of it?
I just been in the gym. Yeah, been in the gym.
Oh. Okay. Now, look, real quick. You did hear a little chuckle there, and every time I'm around a Devin Carter interview, his default, and I know I have default words that I have on this show. There's words that the kind of crutch words. That's what we say when I'm talking to our boss man. Hey, you're saying this too much or that too much. You work on your crutch words. I don't know if it's a crutch response for Devin Carter, and he might be on the show today, and I will not ask him about the shot after that, or I'll find a different way to ask it. But Devin Carter, whenever anybody kind of asks him about like something specific within his game, he always says you can be the judge of that. When he was asked about Nick Clifford, when I was out there for Summer League, and somebody said, hey, there seems to be a lot of similarities, and that's all they really said. They didn't talk about playing time or anything like that. Same thing, you guys can be the judge of that. That's just what he says when he doesn't really feel like answering something. But to be fair, I also kind of felt that there was a little bit of spiciness when he was asked about Nick Clifford, because clearly they do play similar positions. So that's kind of like, I don't want to say something smart. So, or not smart in the way of intelligence, but smart in the way of a
smart in
quip,
like
a quip.
Your
right?
mom is going to be
yes.
upset at you.
Don't be smart with me. That's what my mother would say to me and my little sister. But so I mean it like that, not an intelligent answer. So I think that's probably where he was going, and I believe that was just based on, I know my sounds now. So that was Jake Gaden, that was Sean Cunningham, kind of trying to follow up, and yeah, you had Devin essentially saying, you can be the judge of that. I've just been in the gym. Maybe he just doesn't want to talk about it. I asked Isaac Jones something. Now, I didn't say, hey, did you change something? I asked Isaac Jones, had you been, you were the one who said you need to work on your three-point shooting, which I think is different when somebody admits something. And it was more broad with Isaac because he just said, I need to be a better three-point shooter. He didn't say, I'm working on how my rhythm is, or the type of shot, or my elbow. So when I asked him that at media day, he's the one who said, I have a flat shot. I had to add more arc. So he said it to us because he had kind of opened the door for that. Devin never really opened the door, right? Devin he's a very confident guy. And I just think he didn't feel like getting into the nooks and crannies of it, which I do find a bit interesting. I think that a shot is very much a reflection of not you as a basketball player, but a lot of people put a lot of things on what your shot looks like. If you go to play pickup and somebody's jump shot looks bizarre, you're gonna look at him as completely different as a basketball player unless he's hitting all day long. And then you're going to say, somebody get out there and put a hand in his face. But so much is to be said about whether your shot looks broke or not. And I do think with basketball players, there is a level of, I think, trash talking. I wouldn't be surprised if hasn't been thrown around when Devin plays. I think it's definitely a thing. And I'm not going to say I don't know whether he's sensitive to it or not, but clearly it looked different on the videos that have been circulating, and Devin did not want to talk about it, and that's his prerogative. But look, it doesn't really matter to me whether he wants to talk about it or not. As long as it's improving, that's the most important thing. But he definitely did not want to talk about it. And that's okay. That's okay. And look, if he is our super secret segment a little bit later, I will not ask him about it. I do think that the season hasn't started yet, and I think he might be more welcomed to talking about it if Devin starts out on a tear and it's just completely different and the season is starting and it feels good. It might be something you could revisit. But right now, I think he's still probably working on it. The season hasn't started yet, so he doesn't really want to jump the gun and kind of make any proclamations that he's done X, Y, and Z, because we still don't know what it's going to look like in game speed. That's my takeaway. It's not a big deal, but he clearly did not want to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's just we go through so many of these press conferences and you don't hear anything interesting, or there's a lot of coach speak, and it's a little strange that, you just kind of no comment it kind of thing, because
well, he said you could be, I guess, okay, well, if you're letting me be the judge of it, yeah, it looks like you've been working on getting it off quicker.
Yeah.
It looks like you've been working on your whole process speeding up.
Which,
I guess, you know what? Well, you know what? I think that's what Sean said.
Have you tweaked your shot at all?
And I tweaked my shot.
In terms of getting the shot off a little quicker?
Y'all can be the judge of that.
Is there less arc? Did you take some of the arc out of it?
I just been in the gym. Yeah, I've been in the gym.
Yeah, that wasn't Sean. That was Jason Anderson. Now that I replayed it, but yeah, I mean,
your voice, you're understanding the voices. You're almost there.
No, I am there. I just had to re-say it. I just rehear it. But Jake did try to say, it's pretty simple, and he didn't. Clearly, it is I don't want to say a pain point, but something that he just doesn't want to talk about right now.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I don't really know exactly where you go from there with it. Because, we saw the clip of him hitting the game winner and stuff like that. So maybe they didn't talk to him, but maybe that was kind of the time to ask him about it, after you have the game-winning shot. I guess maybe just the time had passed and he just didn't want to talk about it.
Look, he comes out and he's at 40% and he finds a way into this rotation. I just think it's a little early, and he doesn't, like I said, I don't think he wants to spend too much time on it right now with the season kind of just starting out. If we're seeing real results, I think he might be more open to sharing what he has done. But shout out to, like we said, Jason and Jake. Hey, we got eyes, and he's saying, okay, well then clearly I am trying to make it quicker. I don't really need to speak on it.
Well, and again, that's why it's kind of just an interesting way to respond to it, which we talked about it after the summer league, right? When he was airballing a couple threes, and it was, I think in the championship game, he went 1 for 4. If the 3-point shot isn't going to work against essentially glorified G League competition, what is it going to look like in the NBA where those windows are shorter, people are closing out faster, things like that? So that was always going to be a question with Devin if he was going to be a wing, right? Because he's going to be defending wings. He's going to be playing the 2 or the 3 primarily, unless he has some point guard play, which also in the full clip he talked about adjusting to playing some point guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I guess is more so out of necessity, because last year they had the chance and they never played him at point guard. So I don't know how eager they would be now that they actually have point guard options to put him in there. But if he's not going to be a point guard, he's going to be a wing, and that usually means shooting from the wing or hitting threes at a certain clip.
When we return, Bleacher Report players from each team that are poised to take a leap. You will not believe who they chose for the Sacramento Kings. It is somebody that we did not talk about yesterday when we talked about ceilings, and maybe we should have. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane DeWalt deals on October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits will be at insanely low prices. Spend $1,000 on DeWalt products and get $75 off your order instantly. Spend $100 and get a lotto scratcher with prizes up to $1,000 off your next order. That's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else, and if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and essentially located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course, and online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
It's championship night at Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 11th. Pro League models, mini stocks, legends, pure stocks, and mini modifieds in an all-out war for the crown. Kids 10 and under are always free. Grab your crew and hit Stockton99.com for tickets and info. Then be there when the dust settles and legends are made. Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Players that are poised from each team to take a leap. This is from Bleacher Report from friend of the show, Grant Hughes. NBA training camps are in full swing. Every team is undefeated and every player is in the best shape of his life. Well, it's the Anthony Davis joke there, but I'll just keep reading.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
If you could measure collective optimism around the league, it might be peaking right about now. Improvement is certain. Progress guaranteed. Everyone everywhere will take a leap. Let's narrow it down to 1 player per team just to keep things reasonable in these hyperbolic times. So he goes through each team and has a player. Kyle, if there are any other teams that you are interested in, I will be able to read them off for you. If
Golden State Warriors.
You want to do the Warriors? I mean, it's going to be, it's Pajemski.
Okay.
Who else was it going to be? Is Pajemski or Moody?
Or Guy Santos.
Or Guy Santos still. That's all. There's only a couple options there. So that is.
The Lakers has got to be LaRavia, right?
The Lakers. No, my guess, it can't be Reeves. He's not going to get opportunity. Could it be your boy or my boy? Could it be Dalton? Oh, Lord. DeAndre Ayton.
I get it.
DeAndre Ayton. The Grizzlies, Santi Aldama. The Heat, Khalil Ware. Should have been a King.
That's kind of a cop-out, Khalil Ware. They have no other young players.
Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, this is where it gets dark. Ryan Rollins.
Oh, I don't know if you've been following Bucks training camp, but they're saying Ryan Rollins might be the best guard on the team.
Well, look, the Warriors had him, and there were some flashes. There was nowhere for him to play.
Yeah,
so
they're saying he might be legit on this Bucks team.
I'm telling you, there were flashes. There's a reason they went and got him. Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels. I mean, come on. Pelicans, Herb Jones. New York Knicks, you know who it is. Miles McBride, the untouchable.
Yeah, it's going to be him or Mitchell Robinson.
Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren. Orlando Magic, Franz Wagner. The 76ers, Trendon Watford.
Sure.
The Suns, yeah, man, this is dark times. Colin Gillespie.
You say dark times. Wait till we get to the Kings person if you want to say dark times.
No, hey. Don't start. Portland Trailblazers, this is more like it. Denny Avdia. The Spurs, Wembanyama.
What? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
The Jazz, Kyle Filipowski.
The Spurs had Sohan right there. I don't know what they're doing.
The Raptors, Sandro Mamoukelashvili.
I don't know if I said it right, but it's something like that.
The Wizards, Bilal Coulibaly.
Your guy.
That is my guy.
Who you wanted in the draft.
That is my guy.
But the Kings didn't have a pick.
No, they did not. The Pelicans, did I already say Herb Jones?
Yes.
Like, that's, what are we doing
Sure.
here? Who else is there?
It's either him or Yves Missi.
Yeah. The Clippers, Cam Christie. Max Christie is clearly Max Christie's brother.
Just looking at him, you know?
Literally. Clearly his brother. Pacers, this is a good one. Benedict Mathurin, that's a really good one. That's a good shout. The Rockets, Amen Thompson. The Pistons, Asar Thompson. The Nuggets, Cam Johnson.
No.
The Mavericks, Max Christie.
Hold on. Well, it's just all Christies then. Also, I just looked him up. Yeah, there's just no way it's not Max Christie's brother. The one right before that, what did you just say?
Max Christie.
Before Max Christie.
Cam Johnson.
Yeah, with all those draft picks that you despise on the Nuggets, they picked Cam Johnson as the person. Terrible.
It ain't going to be Strother. I know that.
Peyton Watson.
No, not
Hunter Tyson.
They could have put Brown, actually. They could have put Christian Brown.
Yeah, I'm just saying, all those draft picks that you despise, and they didn't pick any of them.
The Cavs, Jalen Tyson, I've never heard of this man.
He was their first-round pick last year.
I've never heard of this man.
He's gonna maybe play a little this
year.
The
Bulls, this is what I'm talking about. Matas Buzelis, that makes sense. Charlotte Hornets, Brandon Miller, he was on track to do that last season, but couldn't stay on the court. The Brooklyn Nets, Day'Ron Sharp. Wow, the Celtics, Neemias Queta.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson, that makes sense. And without further ado, for the Sacramento Kings, not Devin Carter. Somebody texted in. Not Devin Carter. Not Keon Ellis.
Not Keegan Murray.
Not Keegan Murray. Who else could it be than Isaac Hot Honey Jones? He is who Grant Hughes has tagged to poised to take a leap this upcoming season. And why? This is what Grant has to say. Isaac Jones has a grand total of 304 NBA minutes under his belt and is probably the best power forward on the Sacramento Kings roster. This is great news for Jones, who showed enough promise to earn a standard NBA contract last year, but it's also indicative of the general messiness of Sacramento's personnel decisions. Small sample caveats apply across the board, but Jones flashed the ability to hit the three last year, 3 of 8, and that's a very small sample size, and has been working on his shooting all summer. I think these people are listening to the show. They're listening to the show to write this stuff. I'm telling you.
Yeah, the hoop, what is the machine that shoots back at you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Energy and defensive versatility will be strengths badly needed on a Kings team that will put multiple subpar defenders on the floor in most configurations. Dario Saric is on the verge of slipping out of the league. Doug McDermott isn't a 4, and several options from last season, Jake LaRavia, Trey Lyles, Jonas Valanciunas, are gone. Jones has a clear pathway to a rotation gig, which would take him from undrafted free agent to lineup stable in the span of a single year. I think Grant is right there, man. Look, the wing conversation and the guard conversation is one thing. There's a log jam. We understand that. But this 4, I mean, Keegan is a 4, but he's not even a traditional 4. They don't really have one on the Kings. They don't.
Yeah, that's kind of the point that we've been saying all summer, is that if you can shoot 36% on corner threes, you will play 13 minutes a night for the Sacramento Kings at the 4, because they just need anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone who can play the 4.
And I think if you're Isaac Jones, you're licking your chops and saying that this last position is mine. I know Saric did have a lot to say on Media Day. We didn't get to speak with him. But in the media scrum, he said that Denver had no plan for him. And he didn't say he didn't think that they got a fair shake at it. But it was more so, I don't know that they knew what they wanted to do with me. And he clearly feels like he has more left in the tank. But if I'm Isaac Jones, I feel like that backup 4 position is mine. And if I'm Maxime Reynaud, I also feel like that backup 4 position is mine. So some of the underlying battles here that we'll see throughout training camp and in the preseason at the beginning of the season, I think it's who is going to be that backup 4. And I think Grant is spot on here when it comes to a quote-unquote leap. The leap from being an undrafted free agent to being the backup 4 on a team that isn't even tanking, right? At least not right now. I think that's a heck of a leap, and it could be Isaac Jones as well as it could be Maxime or Dario. So I think that's a good shout from Grant Hughes. I think you look at it a little bit differently versus the idea of a leap. I think it is, can he do enough to be a 4? Again, and he admits this, it's a bad situation with the 4 position on the Kings, but that's not Isaac Jones's fault. He can take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I loved Isaac Jones's quote when we talked to him at Media Day, which was, being able to shoot the 3 is what's going to get him a chance to play on this team, but being able to defend at the 4 and 5 position is what's going to keep him in the league for years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the big thing that we gloss over too, is like, yeah, on offense, whether it's Dario, Maxime, or Isaac Jones, or even like if they play Neek at the 4 at times, on offense, that person's just going to kind of go to the corner and shoot threes. That's kind of the role of the backup, I guess the backup 4, assuming they're going to always play with either Levine or Monk or DeRozan, 2 of those guys being on the floor. I guess Schroeder you could throw in there too. Assuming they play with 2 primary scorers, that backup 4 is going to go to the corner and shoot threes. But being able to defend the 4 position and being able to move on switches, which is the big thing Isaac Jones got in trouble with last year, is they would just switch him onto a guard and he wouldn't be able to really stick. Being able to switch on defense, being able to guard 4s, that's the skill set that might be even more useful than shooting the corner 3 at an average rate.
Yeah, and defensively, I mean, I think he's already got the upper hand. I think he's a better defender than Dario Saric, and he's a better defender than Maxime Reynaud right now.
I guess we can just assume that, considering it's a low bar to hit.
Again, the whole thing is a low bar, but it's still a leap. So, or it still would be, I guess, a jump in where Isaac Jones started and where he is now. And the defensive part of it, I think, is pretty obvious. The offensive part of it, that's where I really, honestly, will know a lot more. And I keep saying that I care about these preseason games, even though nobody else does. But we have to see we have not seen Dario Saric play in about 2 years or a year and a half. So we have to see what Dario Saric looks like, because he might surprise us. And I know it sounds, again, somebody saying, man, Sacramento's out here trying to sell themselves on Dario Saric. And you're right. You are right. But he is on the team. And I'm not saying he's going to be some ridiculous John Collins type 4. all I'm saying is we have to see. I'm not saying we need to see because I think he's going to impress some people. I'm not doing the Dennis Schroeder thing. I just literally want to see this man play basketball.
Well, and this is the other part of the Dario Saric thing, which is that he's on the team in the same way that Kevin Love is on the Utah Jazz, which is if there is any trade where they can use a salary match,
he's
gone the second that trade comes available.
Right.
Or he'll get bought out, right? One of the two I think will happen at some point to Kevin Love, and I assume the same will happen to Dario Saric.
And Dario Saric could be our super secret surprise segment today. And we would get an opportunity to talk to Dario where we did not get that opportunity on Media Day. We're still looking at the bets, and not real bets, if HR is listening. We're still listening to the predictions that people have as to who the guest is going to be today when we talk to them in about an hour. On the other side, The Athletic breaks down the rankings, the NBA rankings by position. This is a really unique exercise that Law Murray, friend of the show and the station, did. And I'll tell you what. You're really going to like this. How about that? Based on the average, we're getting those playoff T-shirts. 12 o'clock hour coming up. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
They say the hardest part of getting something done is getting started. Well, we did that 30 years ago when California first took on the tobacco industry. Now, smoking is down 60%, lung cancer 52%. A couple of our cities have already ended tobacco sales. A California without big tobacco isn't just possible, it's already happening. See our progress at undo.org.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
The excitement of the game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 11.
nobody has guessed it correctly right yet. Okay? Nobody has guessed it correctly yet. So that's coming up in around 30 minutes. Could be a little bit more than 30 minutes. Depends on when practice ends. So we're really excited to have that conversation whenever that goes down. And also, it is time to give you this secret code. Sacktown Sports is giving you a chance to win a pair of lower-level seats to the Sacramento Kings versus OKC on November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer and $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending champs. Text in today's keyword at 916-339-1140 now for your chance to win. Today's keyword is seats. Seats. S-E-A-T-S. Seats. That is the keyword for today. And like I said, you cannot draw this up any better. If you're somebody that is out there, you are casually dating, you are trying to woo someone, I cannot see a better way to woo someone other than taking them to the Kimpton where the players stay. Just like that ludicrous Jermaine Dupri song, welcome to Atlanta where the players play. Welcome to Kimpton Sawyer where the players stay. And you could be there, also going to be at Revival. And with $200 in your pocket, honey, you can get that top shelf. You don't got to get, I know, but babe, normally we get the well. No, you ain't got to do the well. You ain't got to do well. I'm a top shelf type of brother. And that's what it's going to be tonight, thanks to our friends at Revival, our friends at Kimpton Sawyer, and, of course, the Sacramento Kings. So that is S-E-A-T-S, the secret code SEATS. So text that in before the show ends. There will be a new code when the Drive Guys start up. So Whitey Gleason will have that for you. But throughout the next 2 hours, text in SEATS, and you will get another entry into that hat, if you will, as we pick that name out of the hat when it is that time.
Oh, and they're good seats, too.
They're the good ones.
Lower level seats to watch. I don't want to do the John Fisher thing, but to watch the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
The reigning should have been finals MVP, and also a bunch of really good Sacramento Kings.
So that is where we are going with that, and here is your opportunity to be a part of that. Where we're going right now is a breakdown from The Athletic, rankings by position. And I told you that this is going to be one that you enjoy. It's been very optimistic. It's been very optimistic today, and we are going to keep that theme going for the next 2 hours. So this is a good one from Law Murray. 25 NBA team position rankings, projecting all 30 teams' depth chart. So basically, just like he says, he breaks it down by position: point guard, primary, pick and roll ball handlers, playmakers, passers, pace setters, and caretakers. Shooting guard, on or off ball players with shooting ability across various levels, especially off the catch from three. Small forward, primary perimeter defender, fast break finisher, and half court cutter. Power forward, more size than a wing, especially to rebound on both ends without always having the primary interior responsibilities of a center. And then center, rim protection, and screening, especially in pick and rolls. Then there are the stars at every position, the player who finishes most of their possession scoring out of ball screens, isolations, and post-ups. Stars have to be able to play in the mid-range, be able to take and make shots from three, off the bounce, get to the paint and free throw line consistently, and be able to find teammates for easy and open shots. Stars also have to do those things at a high level without being too much of a liability defensively or off the ball. The teams with stars will rank higher at their position group. All right, let's just get to it. And I pulled everything that La Murray had to say as far as the breakdowns by position. And like I said, the average is pretty good. So let's start with the worst one, the Kings and their point guard position. La Murray, based on the point guard position, ranks the Kings 24th in the league. He has Dennis Schroeder as the starter. He's got Malik Monk as the backup. Now, looking at it like that, it makes a little bit more sense why Scott Perry was looking for Russell Westbrook and to add him to the squad. Now, I don't think that you should have given up too much to get Russell Westbrook, but yeah, Law Murray, this is by far the worst position that the Kings have. And again, going back to the Dennis Schroeder thing, this is why what the Kings are saying about Dennis Schroeder is not computing with me and I know the writers are just writers, and we love Law Murray. He's all over this station. We appreciate it. But when they have the Kings position, the point guard position at 24th, and then you listen to how the Kings are talking about Dennis Schroeder, one of these things are not like the other. So Dennis Schroeder as a starter, Malik Monk as the backup, and he did highlight rookies and players on new teams. So he's basically saying, hey, I could be wrong on this. We haven't seen them on this team yet, so it's a little bit harder to diagnose. But with that being said, this is where I have them. So from the worst position, as far as the Kings are concerned, 24th for the Kings with Dennis Schroeder and Malik Monk. Let's get to the best. That shooting guard position, Law Murray has the Kings ranked 5th in the NBA. Zach LaVine as the starter and Keon Ellis as the backup. I mean, that is incredible.
Elite.
That is literally elite. 5th in the NBA is where Law Murray has the Kings as far as the shooting guard position is concerned. Just real quick, in front of them, because there's too many to say, I'm not going to waste my time with the point guard position, but in front of them, the Knicks with the starter Mikal Bridges and the reserve Jordan Clarkson. Wow. The Blazers at number 3, Denny Avdia, the starter, my guy, and Shaedon Sharpe, the reserve. I mean, yeah, that's insane. Shaedon Sharpe start on 20 teams right now.
Yeah, well, who did they list as the starting 3? Jeremy Grant?
Yeah, we can get to, Jeremy, that's a name drop. Number 2, Donovan Mitchell and Sam Merrill. He has them as number 2. And number 1, Anthony Edwards and Stephen A's guy, Terrence Shannon Jr.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have flip-flopped that, but that's fine.
Some of the guys or some of the groups that the Kings are ahead of, number 6, Austin Reeves as the starter, Marcus Smart as the reserve. I think that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
That Law Murray has the shooting guard group above the Lakers shooting guard group. Number 7, the Magic, Desmond Bane. Now all of a sudden Anthony Black is a shooting guard now. Still will be a future King. He'll be a point guard on the Kings. But Desmond Bane and Anthony Black, number 7. Number 8, Derek White and Baylor Shireman. Number 9, Norman Powell and Kasparis Jakuchionis.
The guy they took in the draft.
Yeah.
Just make it easy.
And number 10, this is a surprising one. Number 10, the Hawks, Dyson Daniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Number 10.
Yeah, that Dyson Daniels.
Well, offensively, that's a nightmare, those two.
Hey, most improved player. Hey, who needs that when you got Trae Young?
Yeah.
Trae Young will take all the shots.
Last one for you, just because I think it's interesting. RJ Barrett and Grady Dick at number 11. So that is by far, not by far, but that is the best group for the Kings.
Well, given they have 80 of them, it's a good thing they're in the top 5.
Next, another good one, man. I'm telling you, this is going to make you feel really good about the Kings. So if you are a Kings doomer, this is not the segment for you. Next, for small forward, coming in at 7th in the NBA, the Sacramento Kings, DeMar DeRozan as the starter, and wait for it, Nick Clifford, who everybody loves, Nick Clifford as the reserve. So that's another just huge mark there. Who's in front? You got the Knicks at number 6. OG Anunoby's the starter there. At number 5, you got Franz Wagner and should have been a King, Tristan DeSilver. That's at number 5. Number 4, Jalen Williams and Aaron Wiggins, of course. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard and Chris Dunn as a small forward. Okay, that's number 3. Number 2, Jaylen Brown and Sam Hauser. And number 1, Kevin Durant and future King Tari Eason. Who did the Kings beat out? Trey Murphy and Sadiq Bey at number 8, Cooper Flagg and Najee Marshall at number 9. That's kind of crazy for them to be number 9. Raptors again. Raptors going to make the playoffs at this point. Brandon Ingram and Ochai Agbaji, number 11. Andrew Wiggins and Jaime Jaquez. Wow, that's at number 11. And number 12, Aaron Nesmith, Jarris Walker. Number 13, Jaden McDaniels and Jalen Clark. Number 14, this is a surprise, DeAndre Hunter and Max Strus. And number 17, are you kidding me? Nobody likes Rui Hachimura at this point, besides me.
Rui's fine.
Number 17, Rui Hachimura with the reserve, former King Jake LaRavia.
Yeah,
that's got to be higher. That's ridiculous.
That's fine.
They're behind Dylan Brooks and Royce O'Neal? Really? That's number 15.
I mean, Dylan Brooks and Rui, it's kind of about the same.
Get Rui to the Kings so you can see. I got my all-Allen list.
Oh, he can play at power forward on the Kings?
Number 19, Tumani Kamara, Matisse Thybulle, and the Spurs, Devin Vassell at 18.
Oh, I would
and Keldon Johnson.
I would have put that Blazers one up a little higher.
Number 21, this one's just for Kyle Kuzma, and Taurean Prince.
I would have put that a little lower. Can that one go down to 30?
Now, speaking of lower, this one is pretty rough when you think about the starter. In your power forward position, and this goes back to the Isaac Jones conversation, the Kings rank, you're not going to believe this, or maybe you will, the Kings rank 20th. Law Murray has them as 20th in the 4 position, and he has the Kings and Keegan Murray as the starter, and this is probably the anchor, no disrespect to this player, but Dario Saric as the backup. And I think Keegan is obviously hunting for the top 10 if it's him and kind of a backup that more people feel comfortable with. But, yeah, they are, Kyle, they are barely in front of 21, which is the Hornets, Miles Bridges, and Tejan Salon.
Are you serious?
They are number 21.
Wow, that's brutal.
In front of the Kings and Keegan Murray and Dario Saric, the Nets, Michael Porter Jr. and Noah Clowney.
That's rough.
18, John Collins. I think this is just a really heavy group, to be honest with you, because 18, he's got John Collins and Derek Jones on the Clippers. 17, Paul George and Trendon Watford. 16.
Paul George, hold on.
Yeah.
Paul George is not a power forward. What universe did I wake up in where Paul George is a power forward? I guess the same one where Keegan Murray's a power forward.
Exactly. Aaron Gordon and your guy Peyton Watson come in at number 16.
Oh, that is disrespectful.
Number 15, Lauri Markkanen and Kyle Filipowski.
Yeah, this is just a deep category.
Number 14, Jalen Johnson and a rookie. Number 13, Scotty Barnes and a rookie. Now, this is crazy to me. This is now, those two, that's disrespectful to Keegan because you don't even know what these guys can do. Number 12, Julius Randle and Naz Reid.
What?
Number 11, Chet Holmgren and Alex Caruso at the 4.
I guess in fairness, the Thunder don't have another 4. It probably should be.
This is crazy. Now, this is disrespectful. Number 10, Zion. Look, Law Murray, he was hot. He cooled off a little bit on this one. Number 10, Zion Williamson and Derek Queen. Really? Derek Queen, is he even playing? Isn't he injured?
He's probably better than Dario Saric.
Number 9, Paolo Banchero. Jonathan Isaac, really? He doesn't even look at the basket.
Jonathan still has 4 years left on his contract, though.
He's still untouchable, though. Number 8, Jimmy Butler and Al Horford at the 4. This is insane. This is getting crazy.
They couldn't have even said Guy Santos.
Number 7, Pascal Siakam, and
wait,
my guy.
So I'm stuck on the Warriors. so they have Moody as a 3 instead of Kuminga?
Moody, they said, is going to play some 2.
What? Where's Buddy Hield?
Buddy's Buddy. Buddy's just going to be in there to take a couple shots and have some more fun with Jimmy Butler.
Are they listing him as a point guard?
No, I just don't think he's accounted for anywhere.
I'm very confused.
Number 7, Pascal Siakam, and my God. Now, if the Kings could just get Obi Toppin, then they're in the top 10 on this list.
Let's say the Aaron Gordon one should be top 10 on this list.
Yeah, the Aaron Gordon one. There's a lot of ridiculousness here. Number 6, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Santi Aldama.
Okay, I don't got an argument there.
Number 5, Evan Mobley and Dean Wade, future King Dean Wade. Number 4, Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart. Really? Number 3, now this is where it confuses me because I guess they've banged P.J. Washington to the bench. Number 3 is Anthony Davis and P.J. Washington. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, shouldn't it be, I guess, Lively and Gafford are all centers?
Yeah,
but Anthony Davis is the 4 on that team.
Number 2, LeBron James and Jared Vanderbilt. Really? Really? The model? I call him the model because he's just always in designer clothes on the bench.
I'm just because we mentioned his name, we can't say it, but did you see the clip of Anthony Edwards at Media Day?
Yeah.
Talking about Jared Vanderbilt.
That's his guy. That's his guy.
That's his guy.
And number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis, which fine. I don't have a problem with that, but there's no way the Kings should be 20th.
A lot of good forwards in there, though. I mean, in fairness, Jalen Johnson's probably a little bit too high on that list, but Jalen Johnson's probably ahead of Keegan Murray right now, so I don't know how. I'm struggling to find more than 2 or 3 that I'm like, wow, how could Keegan Murray have been below them?
Yeah, below Keegan Murray, like I said, Miles Bridges and my guy, Tejan Salon, number 22.
I don't know. I think just Salon is just dragging it down.
No, I mean,
for me.
he definitely is. And he's not going to play. Tobias Harris and Paul Reed at 22. Chris Middleton and Keyshawn George at 23. Jabari Smith Jr. and Dorian Finney-Smith at 24. And former King, 25, Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Sohan. All the way at number 26, everyone's favorite Murray besides Keegan, Jeremy Grant as the starter, and Chris Murray. So I guess they're 4s. The Murrays are 4s. Chris Murray's the backup, apparently.
Chris Murray as a 4 is crazy. But I will say, if Jabari Smith Jr. is going to be down that low and the Harrison Barnes-Jeremy Sohan duo is going to be that low,
what I'm saying. No,
then
just wait. Just wait. There's a chance. I'm telling you. Today is a very optimistic day, and I don't even like Tuesdays because I'm well-rested, okay? Last on the list, Kyle, you want to feel good about it after that ridiculous ranking for Keegan Murray and Dario Saric? Coming in at number 7 for the centers, Domantas Sabonis and Drew Eubanks. Friend of the show, Drew Eubanks, coming in at number 7. All right? Number 1, of course, Nikola Jokic and Jonas Valanciunas. They would have been top 5 if Jonas was still there. Number 2, Victor Wembanyama and Luke Cornett. Number 3, you can just bump everybody up 1. Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond. I don't know what to do with that. Now, this is where it gets a bit disrespectful because number 4 is Alperen Şengün and Steven Adams. Obviously, Steven Adams is viewed as better than Drew Eubanks.
I think they also have Clint Capella, too.
Actually, this is not as disrespectful as it sounds because of the reserves. Number 5, Ivica Zubac, and the reserve is Brook Lopez. Number 6, Bam Adebayo, but the reserve is Khalil Ware. And Domantas Sabonis is the starter. Of course, Drew Eubanks is the reserve. And who did they beat out? Yeah, this is a weird group. Now, I feel less bad about the power forward group because that's just a bunch of big dudes, and there's a lot of players being thrown in there. Who did the centers beat out? They beat out Kristaps Porzingis and Onyeka Okongwu of the Hawks, Walker Kessler and Yusuf Nurkic of the Jazz. They're coming at number 9. Number 10, Jared Allen and the guy who's on 12 teams at one time, Thomas Bryant. Number 11, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford. They should be a little bit higher.
Wait, Thomas Bryant's on the Cavs?
I'm telling you, this guy's on 12 teams at one time.
Huh. If we had done, we're going to do who he played for at some point, but that would have stumped me.
Number 12, Rudy Gobert and a rookie. Number 13, Isaiah Hartenstein and Jalen Williams. Number 14, Draymond Green and Quentin Post. Number 15, Miles Turner and Jericho Sims. And yeah, Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart coming at 16. Yeah. 17, Nikola Vucevic and Zach Collins. Lakers, any other notables? You got the 18, Jakob Poeltl, 19, DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes. So, yeah, I guess it's in 24 to the big bad Trailblazers, Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams, who is Robert Williams going to play? I don't know. Grizzlies.
You could throw Yang Hansen in there.
Grizzlies, 26, Zach Edey and Brandon Clark. The Pelicans, 27, with Kevon Looney and Yves Missi.
Yeah, and Derek Queen, who's apparently not a center, but they gave up 2 first-round picks for him.
And this is so funny because we read off the Bleacher Report who's going to take a leap. La Murray does not expect Neemias Queta to take a leap, as they are dead last with Neemias Queta and Luka Garza.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear his name now, I just can't not think of Devin Booker saying after Luka got traded. They came in and told us Luka got traded, and I was like, Luka Garza?
Yeah.
The funniest dismissal ever of a guy he genuinely hates.
So that's the breakdown here, which brings it out to an average. Rankings by position. The average ranking for the Sacramento Kings comes out to 12, which means out of the NBA, okay? Which means that your Sacramento Kings, any way you spin it, that lineup, based on what La Murray just laid out, that lineup is a playoff level lineup. They're top 12 in the NBA. That's their average. That's a playoff lineup.
Yeah, it is. And their wings are 5th and 7th in the league, which is to say they've got elite wing play with the duo of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keon Ellis, and Nick Clifford, which I know we like to dismiss it as Chicago Bulls West. Apparently it's an elite guard lineup still in the NBA going into this year when you lay it all out. Although there weren't a lot of shooting guards. That was kind of the interesting thing. I know they're coming in 5th with Zach LaVine, but compared to like Larry Markkinen being 15th on the power forwards, there just weren't a lot of shooting guards that were at the top of the list.
Yeah, and I think the main thing here, and obviously the shooting guards were in top 5, and yeah, the Kings kind of excelled in the positions that are not, basically it's the star thing, right? These stars, most stars these days are getting thrown into the 4 category, or they're getting thrown into the point guard category because they handle the basketball, even though Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's 6'6". So the Kings, where they excel in the center position and the shooting guard position, and they had one more that was a top position as well, the small forward, forward, shooting guard, and center. Those aren't, I guess, for lack of a better term, the premium isn't the same as the point guard and the power forward, which is an interesting way to look at it. Just as I kind of scroll through here, Kyle, because that's the whole thing that's been the issue with the Kings. And teams that have people at the top, obviously the point guards, the Thunder, Lakers, Warriors, Knicks, and even the Suns are number 5, and we know they're not really doing anything. Clippers are 7, and then when you get to shooting guards, Timberwolves, Cavs, Blazers, Knicks, Kings. So the Knicks are there for a couple different ones. And you got the Rockets, Celtics, Clippers, Thunder. So it's a pretty good mix. And this is the first time, and then you get Lakers get brought up again with the power forward, Bucks, Lakers, Mavericks, Knicks again. Knicks are the kind of a common, you keep hearing the Knicks, you keep hearing the Cavs. These are the teams that have been some of the highest seeds. Then the center, Nuggets, Spurs, Sixers, Rockets, Clippers again. So these are teams that we've seen play well. But besides that, it's pretty random. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I guess the trump card in all of this is how good your best player is. And that's what it always comes down to, because you look around and you say, that's the 12th best lineup on average.
Roster, yeah.
The 12th best roster. How are they picked to finish 12th in the West? In the West.
And that's because if you're doing the average thing, it's weighting all positions equally when not all positions are.
And all rankings equally.
Yeah, exactly. All rankings and all positions come in equally, which I guess the one that I would point to, because the power forward center thing is weird because we're talking about like bigs versus tall. Like Giannis is listed as a power forward and Miles Turner is listed as a center. But in practice, on offense, Giannis is the center and Miles Turner is the power forward. So it's not always apples to apples. But also I think the point guard position is weighted more heavily because you need that playmaker. And some teams get it from the wing, right? Kevin Durant is going to be that for the Rockets, and that's going to make up for their point guard value being low. And Zach LaVine might be able to make some of that up for the Kings. Yeah. But the playmaker is so important. The guys with the bag work, as Austin Rivers likes to call it, that I feel like it's weighted more heavily. So then it's like disadvantageous to the Kings that they don't have a point guard playmaker.
You almost need to DVOA it, right, as far as the kind of football stat and weight it against the importance and how good other teams are versus that. But on paper, I'm still taking it as a win that on average they have the 12th best roster. We are in the danger zone as it pertains to the super secret surprise Kings segment. Somebody could be popping on with us at any time, so you should probably stay very close to your laptop, your phone, however you're listening to the show, and of course stay in the car. Just pull on over, keep your AC on. It's not even that hot these days. Just roll down the window. There's a nice breeze. Your whatever app you're on, the Sacktown Sports app, because you're not going to want to miss who we're talking to. It is somebody that's never been on the show. That's another hint for you as well. When we return, an anonymous source says the Kings should trade for this point guard, and I guarantee you it would raise them from 24th, according to Law Murray and The Athletic. But what would it cost the Kings? This is fascinating coming out of the NBA circles and what this anonymous exec had to say. And y'all know I don't even like anonymous execs, but you don't want to miss what he had to say. Don't move. More Sacktown Sports coming up.
Carmichael Dave here with breaking news. American Energy Heating and Air is changing their name to American Energy Home Pros. No, they're not going to do poetry. Not that kind of pros. As in professionals. Hey, listen, I've told you for months, they want to be your second opinion partner. Of course they do. They want to come out to your house for free. Take a look at whatever offer you've been given on your heater, on your air conditioner, and now your plumbing. And what will they do? They'll give you a replacement quote. They'll give you a second opinion, which does two things there. Number one, it lets you know that whatever service you've been quoted, you actually need. And number two, it's going to let you know, A, if you have a great price from somebody else, or B, more probably, if you have a better price from American Energy Home Pros. Been in business since 1981, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
The statewide special election is November 4th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.sackcounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
So we have an update. I want to spend a good amount of time on this proposed trade from the anonymous source. But Kyle has given me the word that the super secret surprise segment is very soon. And I don't want to get cut off while we are breaking that down. So we're going to table that for now, simply because a player could be joining us any minute now. So with that being said, we're going to power through some of the other stuff that we have going on.
Still nobody's guessed it right, though.
No. We've seen the Devin Carters of the world.
Someone threw out Terrence Davis.
Yeah, someone threw out Terrence Davis. So good guesses, but none of the correct guesses. Getting back to, just to give you a little bit of it, this is from a Cavs round table, okay? And basically, an anonymous NBA executive says the Cavs should trade Darius Garland and believes Sacramento in a deal for Malik Monk could be a potential fit. Said, I think they need to trade Darius. That backcourt is too small with him and Donovan Mitchell. I love the Lonzo trade. If I were Kenny Atkinson, I would start Lonzo, Donovan, DeAndre, and Evan Mobley, as well as Jared Allen, and trade Darius. Sacramento was interested in him before getting Dennis Schroeder from Detroit. Maybe call them up and see if they want Darius for like Malik and salary filler. So that's what we're going to kind of get into a little bit later in the show after we have our super secret surprise segment. Yeah, I'm still kind of tripping off of the breakdown, and I get it. Every position isn't created equal, but just seeing an average of the Kings it just goes to show how much things have to work. And it also goes to show how important having one of the best players in the world out of the best players in the world is, because you can average out to be the 12th best lineup or best roster or rotations, I should say, in the NBA and be selected to finish 12th in your own dang conference, not even in the NBA, in your own dang conference. And that's because it's great to have somebody 5th. It's great to have somebody 7th. But if you don't have a 1, 2, or 3 by a long shot, that's a problem.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how the Suns, who I know are also kind of in the same boat as the Kings, they come in super high with Devin Booker at the premium position. They've got what Dylan Brooks you were yelling about is above Rui Hachimura for 16th or whatever. Their point guard probably, I don't remember where it was on the list, but it's probably ahead of the Kings considering they have Jalen Green. So kind of in that same boat where it's like Devin Booker is excellent, but they don't have elite player at another premium position, and so therefore they're expected to finish 13th or 14th in the West.
Right. If I were to guess, a team like the Thunder probably averages in the top 10, but then they're the number one, where their number one is by far number one, right? Or it's him and Luka, and I guess you could put Steph in there and everybody else. So that's kind of the difference there between being in the top 5 and kind of being a surprising pick or just kind of battling it out for top 5 versus, we have somebody that's a 1. We might have somebody, Isaiah Hartenstein was, like 17th or something like that, but Jalen Williams is up there somewhere and the rest of the crew is up there. And I think it's also you know what? To keep it positive though, it does have a good shout as far as the Kings' depth is concerned. And the 2 biggest hitters is the fact that it was Keon Ellis along with Zach LaVine, and then it was Nick Clifford along with DeMar DeRozan. And those were the 2 guys that I think Law Murray was giving the Kings a shout, because if you're, as we saw with Keegan Murray and Dario Saric, if your reserve, Law Murray doesn't think that they bring anything to the table, that's not going to do you any good, and that's why they were 20th.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure exactly where, say, a team like Sacramento, where they have great wings across the board, how you then make that improvement at the point guard position enough for it to work. Right, we talked about like Zach LaVine would be great if you had a De'Aaron Fox or a player like that on the team. Maybe that's the Darius Garland thing, but where you get improvement outside of that is hard to kind of decipher, I guess, because you have to find improvement from the other two positions for this thing to work. I'm sure the best teams are the most well-rounded on that list.
Yeah, and here's the other part of it. You look at the West versus the East as far as that point guard position, which is such an important position. I didn't even see this real quick, Kyle. Can you try to take a wild guess? I'm sorry, Law Murray. Can you try to take a wild guess as to who Steph Curry's reserve is?
Is it Buddy?
I'm telling you, you're not going to believe this.
Is it Moody?
And actually, they should not be third.
Is it his brother?
No.
Is it GP2?
Yes.
Okay.
GP2, and there's that famous meme of Steph yelling at him to give him the ball. GP2 is not even a guard. He's just not tall. That's crazy. That's actually insanity.
I guess they just had to throw someone in there.
Pajemski.
Pajemski's the starting two, though. Plus, when Steph's off the floor, Jimmy or Kuminga is the playmaker.
Yeah. So out of that, you got the Thunder, the Lakers, the Warriors, crazy enough, the Suns, the Clippers, and the Grizzlies. So 6 out of 10, as far as that point guard position, are in the West. And I think that's a big deal. And you got 12. De'Aaron Fox, actually, that's kind of it's kind of disrespectful. The 9, they have Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. This is actually the disrespectful one. And maybe it's because he's a rookie. Number 10, Ja Morant and Scottie Pippen Jr. I know you're big on Scottie Pippen Jr., Kyle. Cavaliers, number 11, Darius Garland, Alonzo Ball. De'Aaron Fox, 12. De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper. They do have them ahead of the Nuggets with Jamal Murray and Jalen Pickett.
Yeah, because that makes sense. De'Aaron Fox is the one point guard. Or sorry, Jamal Murray is the point guard in that gluttonous, like 7 through 15 that I know is not as good as De'Aaron Fox. I know Jamal Murray is just a diet version of De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. Number 8, Trae Young and Luke Kennard. I beg your pardon.
They traded Bufkin, right? He was supposed to be their backup point guard. So
7, James Harden and Chris Paul. 6, Cade Cunningham and Karis LeVert.
What? Karis LeVert. He's a wing.
He's handling the rock. So that is where everything falls as far as the breakdown. Good stuff from Law Murray. We got to have him. I know he's on the afternoon show, but we got to get him on this show to ask him what happened or what went on with that point guard conversation, or if the Kings do come out and Dennis Schroeder does ball out the same way everybody thinks he's going to ball out. Hey, you redo that list. What the heck was Dennis Schroeder doing at 24? All right, with Malik Monk, that's still disrespectful to me. Because Malik Monk, I know he's a shooting guard, really, but Malik Monk, still former top candidate, should have won 6th Man of the Year. So that's still a little bit disrespectful to me. So that is how it all goes down for the Athletic, and a very unique breakdown. So we appreciate them for cooking that up. We are, like I said, in the red hot danger zone for the Super Secret Surprise segment. Still no correct guesses. And I believe we will be joined by a Kings player who's never been on the show before when we return. You are not going to want to miss this. More Allen Stiles Show coming up.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento,
Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping 1 day of insane Milwaukee deals on Saturday, October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits at insanely low prices. All Milwaukee hand tools, tool accessories, and Milwaukee pack-out boxes will be 20% off. Spend $100 and you'll get a lotto ticket for up to $1,000 off your next order. Again, that's 1 day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
The Sacktown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers win an absolute thriller in overtime over LA, 26-23, to improve the 4-1. San Francisco getting a critical stop on 4th and 1 at the end of the game with LA driving inside the red zone. Mac Jones is now 3-0 as the 49ers starting quarterback. The Niners are back in action in Tampa Bay. Catch the game Sunday beginning at 9 o'clock right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Any day now, any time now. They are finishing up their huddle. And then we will get, oh, you thought I was going to say it. Then we will get our super secret surprise guest on the line for the first super secret surprise segment of the season. If you are new to the show, came about finding the show recently, we are the flagship of your Sacramento Kings. And because of that, you will hear different players. You will hear the GM, the coaches. We had a great time at Media Day last week. And something that we do specifically on this show is every now and then after practice, one of the players are nice enough to hop on the show, and we just kind of get a lay of the land as to how they're feeling and where the season seems to be going, where they can improve, or if they're on a hot streak, how they are achieving that and things like that. So we are going to kick that off at some point very, very soon here, as Kyle is doing a great job to coordinate with the Kings and get it all figured out for us. We've been talking today very optimistically about the Kings and how they only need a couple things to go wrong for other teams for them to make the Las Vegas odds makers look like complete fools. And one of those things that they can do is get good contributions from their young guys, specifically their rookies, right? The Nick Cliffords of the world. Maxime Reynaud went in the second round, but obviously there's a lot of pub behind him, and a lot of people thought that he was going to go sooner. I thought for sure the Kings weren't going to get him, and he fell to the Kings, and we are very excited that he has. But that's the type of stuff that can change the culture and change exactly where this team could be headed.
Well, and we talked earlier about how Isaac Jones, who Bleacher Report mentioned as the player most poised to take a leap for the Kings, has plenty of opportunity, right? And so if it's him or Maxime, or even Neek, maybe if he's playing some four, right, the opportunity is there for people if they can defend fours, right? Who can guard Aaron Gordon's, who can guard Larry Markkanen's, who can guard Zion's, players like that. when Keegan Murray isn't on the floor, or if you're playing a team where Keegan's got to guard a different position, because Keegan still gets bounced back and forth between guarding 1 through 4.
Yeah. So there are a ton of different kind of ways to look at this thing from the aspect of the different identity, right? The different identity, the new additions to the team, the new coaching staff, the new GM. This is, and I know people have gone back and forth saying, I'm not really excited for this season. We're just kind of waiting it out. And I'll say this, even if you agree that he is, that this is kind of a makeshift team, if you will, I think there are less fun makeshift teams out there. I think it's a fairly fun makeshift team, and I think that matters. I think that, again, it could be tiny victories, but you look around and you see some of the guys, and, you get to have one of your favorite players, a lot of people's favorite players growing up in Doug Christie. You get to have him handling the coaching duties. You got Bobby Jackson as your assistant coach as well. So, this is a season where the main goal is that you get something out of it. Maybe things break right for the Kings and they're able to sneak in. If they aren't, they choose a direction and they kind of get out of this. And the hope is, and I know I've said there might be a 2-year window, but the hope is that this season kind of forces a hand in either direction so that there isn't a 2-year window, that there's only a one-year window. So that's the hope.
Yeah, and I kind of understand everything's kind of flexible, right? We know how everything, it's a 2-year window for whatever this team is going to do, whether they get the 6th seed or the 16 seed, which I know doesn't exist, but whatever it is, there's a 2-year window going on.
Yeah, real quick, just to switch gears a little bit, if you are just now joining us from the morning, Joe Flacco is no longer a part of the Cleveland Browns. He is on to Cincinnati as Jake Browning, local kid out here in the Sacramento, Rockland area. The Bengals have said that they've seen enough. And you can't have those type of weapons and just be unable to get it done. They made things a bit spicy with the Lions to end the game on Sunday, but that was after the game was out of reach. As Kyle had mentioned, it's not just the quarterback position. The offensive line isn't very good, and there are a lot of question marks, but you can't look like that with guys like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. It's just impossible. I do think it's funny that they decided to make this move and I guess it's not official unless I haven't seen it, that Joe Flacco will be is it possible Joe Flacco isn't the starter?
Oh, totally.
Right? I think the way Jake Browning ended the game, they might say, hey, Jake, okay, maybe you found something. You got a quarter to prove to us that you found something, and if not, here comes Joe Flacco.
Yeah, the last example I could think of where something like this happened, where a team had an injury and they were like, well, our quarterback room didn't cut it, so now we have to make a trade, was when the Pasternaut got traded a couple years ago, and then he was on the Vikings, but they were still playing. I don't remember, it was Mullins or someone else. And then they made the switch, and then the Pasternaut killed it. Like, they'll probably put Joe Flacco in at some point, but it's probably still going to be Browning next week.
Yeah, and I just saw Josh Dobbs. He's on a pretty decent team. I don't know, somewhere. I feel like it's in the East somewhere.
Ooh, who he play for?
Yeah.
Let's throw out a guess. I'm going to say Washington.
Yeah, it wasn't Washington because we just saw Mariota. I don't know. Why do I feel like it was maybe was it the Patriots?
Oh, you got it.
Yeah,
Look at you.
Yeah. I know I just saw him because they panned to the sideline. I'm thinking, oh, Joshua Dobbs, I remember you. So that's what's going on.
So we're one Drake May injury away from the Pasternaut?
Hey, man, he's good in 2 game stints. You give him 2 games, and that's all he needs. People forget he can run a little bit, right? He runs for like 20 yards, throws for 230. They win 2 games, and then that's all. You got to cap Joshua Dobbs at about 2 games.
I will never forget when he, what was that? He was on he came in for the Titans when they had to win a playoff game, and they just had, or to go to the playoffs, and they had no quarterback, and they just like signed him the week before to try and get to the playoffs.
No, my favorite, that was, what was it, when he was with the Cardinals? And he had that insane game where he just running all over the place, and people said, "Whoa, Joshua Dobbs!" They basically like pinch hitters, right? They only pinch hit once a season, and everybody forgets. Oh, this guy really likes the fastball in, or whatever it is, and you forget, and then you get two games at it, and then you remember what they are or aren't good at, and there you have it. Kyle's saying we're about 1 minute out, as somebody is tuning in saying, Alan, I want the super secret surprise segment, and you're talking about Joshua Dobbs. I hear you. We are, and this is how these segments go. They are finishing up. Maybe somebody missed a shot, and they are running more liners. And Kyle, let me know when we're ready to go. We are here, and if your guess was Neek Clifford, you would be correct. Neek Clifford, it's your first time here on the Allen Stiles Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the program. Neek, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Look, I know there was a lot of running around. I believe you were on the drive, guy, so we didn't get a chance to chat during media day and a lot of the different press conferences that you've had. I've been doing this show 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., so we haven't crossed paths yet, so I'm excited for this conversation, Neek. Let's start here. How has training camp been? Neek, I've been hearing a lot of stuff because, like I said, it ends while I'm doing the show. Y'all are running liners if somebody misses shots. A couple days ago, there might have been a sloppy practice, and you guys were trying to kind of tighten things up. This is your first training camp. We got Drew Eubanks saying that it's the hardest training camp he's ever done, but this is all you know because you're coming from college. Give me the lay of the land on how training camp has been, your first training camp in the NBA.
Yeah, it's all I know. So it's been good so far. It's been a lot of hard work we put in, playing hard against each other each and every day, and just trying to stack days, making each other better. But it's been a lot of fun just trying to take it in and enjoy it. It goes by so fast. You see all the guys in their careers, Debo in whatever year he's in, like 13 or something, and you just see how fast it goes by. So I'm just trying to take it one day at a time and enjoy it because I know by the end of my career I'm gonna want to not regret anything I did. So it's been a lot of fun.
Talking to Neek Clifford. Neek, what are the differences between the NBA training camp and what you had going on in college, those training camps versus what you were dealing with here in the NBA?
The competition level is a lot higher. The pace of play, the physicality, everything's a lot different. But, it's been an easy adjustment. I feel like a lot of the guys have been helping me out, trying to teach me things, and just been welcoming me with open arms and allowing me to learn and grow through some of my mistakes. But, being a veteran college player, I played a lot of years in college, and I feel like that helped translate, to the next level because I was able to understand things better, able to pick up things a lot quicker, and it's helped my adjustment be pretty easy.
Talking to Neek Clifford for our Super Secret Surprise Kings segment. Neek, what's been your focus, I guess, ever since you've been drafted going into training camp, besides just finding your footing and obviously being kind of new to the NBA? Has there been a specific focus when you were drafted? Hey, we like what you do here. We'd like to see you do more of this or that. Has there been a focus, or has it just been, hey, let's just get you kind of used to the speed of the game and things like that?
I think everybody's been pleasantly surprised by my adjustment of, transitioning to the NBA level, from summer league to now training camp. Just being able to pick up things, like I said, quickly, trying to just learn the plays and, my playmaking. I feel like they were all pleasantly surprised with how I read the game and just play the right way, trying to make the right plays. So that's something I always continue to focus on and want to translate to help our team win games. And I think the focus going forward is just continuing to do that, as well as learn, all the different actions that we're doing, learning how to play multiple positions and be effective in whatever role they throw me into.
Talking to Neek Clifford, who is nice enough to join us right after practice. Neek, it's a bit of a crowded guard wing roster that you're joining. Have you had any conversations with the coaching staff as far as what they think you need to do to be able to get on the floor and get some legitimate time as a rookie?
I think not specifically, but I feel like, my versatility helps me in a lot of senses that I'm able to play multiple positions. So I use that to my advantage to just be able to go out and do whatever they need me to do, whether that's pick up full court every time or, play the point, play the wing, and just make the game easier for the guys around me. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on, is trying to play my role and fit in, as well as continue to get better and become more and more comfortable each day playing with the veteran guys. But not specifically, they haven't told me exactly what, but just play hard defensively and make the right plays. That's definitely going to help you get on the floor.
That's always the right way to go about it. Talking to Neek Clifford, our super secret surprise King segment. Neek, we've heard the wing term has been used pretty loosely these days, but from wing to point guard to four, where can Kings fans expect to see you in the preseason in this upcoming season? A point guard, two guard, shooting guard, wing, four. Is there anything you're not going to do? You can be playing center too. I know you're very versatile. Where are we going to see you this season?
I'd rather stay away from the center spot. I don't know if I want to be down there with Jokic and them.
No.
I think I'm going to stick to probably the combo guard, like the 1, 2, 3, any of those positions, and then trying to be able to guard 1 through 4. That's kind of what I want to be able to showcase and be able to bring to this team. And, it's going to take time as I continue to grow and get bigger and stronger and whatnot. But I think right now I could play any of those positions and do it at a high level whenever they ask that of me.
Neek Clifford, thank you so much for joining us, man. I hope you're starting to enjoy Sacramento. You're making the transition from Colorado. You got any specific food types that you like that I can put the word out, Neek, and make sure that, hey, I like soul food, I like seafood, whatever you need. I can make sure that you are well fed with whatever good type of food you like, Neek. So you let me know.
Hey, I'm a foodie, man. So I've been trying to find the spots out here. So any recommendations you got? I've found some good spots, some Mexican spots, soul food, but I'm not picky. So whatever you got, send it my way.
We definitely will. Neek Clifford, we are so happy that you are a part of the Sacramento Kings. And thank you for taking the time to join us right after practice. Good luck this season, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Nice to meet you. I appreciate you having me on.
That was Neek Clifford. Great stuff from the rookie for our super secret surprise Kings segment. On the other side, let's break down what Neek Clifford had to say. And we are going to get into a conversation about Adam Schefter, what he had to say about Brock Purdy. More Kings talk, more NFL talk, everything in this last hour. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products in next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Sacramento gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before." That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
When I
was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about the super secret surprise segment. No show can hoard any player. We get the access. And
Take
we just
that,
talked
Christopher Law.
That's right. And we just talked to Nick Clifford. Great stuff from Nick Clifford. Man, Kyle, so there's a lot to kind of break down, and Neek was outstanding. We knew that he would be. I found out that we were going to have Neek, I don't know, maybe about an hour ago. But to those out there who did not know, nobody guessed it right. So you'll have another chance the next time we have a surprise super secret segment. And I think the biggest thing that I took away was Neek essentially saying, combo guard, 3, defend the 4. Offensively, he won't be in that spot, and I don't think he would need to be. But I honestly, I don't want to say I don't care, but I care more about defense. The problem is defensively. So all I needed to hear is that there are thoughts and there are kind of packages where Neek Clifford will be defending the 4. Now, we'll see how that works out. As we've seen, hey, Keon Ellis, there's certain threes that when he gets up against him, oh, that doesn't look right. And I don't know that Neek Clifford would come out the gate ready for an Aaron Gordon or somebody like that. And on those nights, you better just hope Keegan Murray is healthy right now. But to know, that's the main thing I wanted to get out of that interview, just to figure out if there's any thought of him at the 4 in any capacity. And I wanted, because that's what we've been talking about, Isaac Jones, Dario Saric, and who else could possibly be in that position. The fact that and I didn't ask him specifically, I said, where can we find you? And he did throw in 4 defensively. That is good news to me. Now, obviously, we have to see what it looks like, but the Kings need as many options as possible right now, so I'm glad to hear it. There are going to be some nights where, like I said, the Kings just don't really have anybody to guard Aaron Gordon, to be completely honest with you, or a Zion. Nights like that, it's just pray for Keegan, and somebody else offensively is going to have to take care of business. But some of those smaller 4s that are out there, I think I've always felt that I'm just looking at, I'm saying, man, this dude's on some muscle milk. I'm telling you, he's on that whey protein. So I think we're going to see some of him at the 4, and maybe I'll say, hey, I was wrong. It's not going to work out. But I think there are going to be a good amount of nights where it does.
Yeah, and I think that point is where the matchups come into play. First of all, to Neek Clifford point, 1 through 4 guarding is the big thing, because offensively, it's all positionless now, and especially with the Sacramento Kings, where Sabonis is the point center. Everything is positionless now for the Sacramento Kings, or really just in the NBA at large. But being able to defend the 4s is the big thing, and honestly, it's going to have to be matchup based for the Sacramento Kings.
I was going to say, because it was a perfect setup, because I still have the La Murray tab open, and I'm looking at the 4s. And there's definitely another name who there's nobody on the roster for him, Julius Randle.
Well, do you remember who they tried to have guard Julius Randle to start last year? Because the Timberwolves were the home opener. They put DeMar DeRozan on him.
Yes.
And it didn't work, so then they switched to Keegan Murray. But they needed Keegan Murray to guard Anthony Edwards. And I think at the time, Herter was still on the team, so Herter was guarding Anthony Edwards a lot of the time. But yeah, they just didn't have anyone to play the lengthy Timberwolves, and that's why they lost to the Timberwolves, except for that one time they beat them in the 4th quarter
with
comeback.
Jay Crowder.
Yeah, with Jay
Crowder.
Crowder.
You ain't backing Jay Crowder down.
Yeah, but
not with the back brace on. Go ahead.
think out of necessity, you're going to have to do it matchup based, right? Like when you're playing the Pelicans, that's the time to maybe consider playing Sabonis and Eubanks on the floor together.
Yes.
It's the same thing that we talked about with the Beef Brothers last year with Sabonis and Valanciunas.
We have the meat.
There are certain matchups where it makes sense to play both of the bigs together. Because unless you're a team that has an elite defender that can guard 1 through 5 or affects the game in the way that like Wemby does, you have to kind of adjust to what the other team is throwing at you because it's not your strength.
Yeah, I think the other part of this is you got to remember that guarding the 4, we're not saying he's guarding the starting 4 because he's going to be playing a lot with the reserves. So if you're looking at this list, yeah, the Kings don't have an answer on their roster for Giannis. I'm just going through the list in order. Giannis, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Evan Mobley, Jaren Jackson. But then once you get out of that top 6, right, you got Pascal. I think that Neek can hang with Pascal. I would just say strength-wise, right? Obviously, Pascal's a dog, but I'm just saying strength-wise. Jimmy Butler, Paolo Banchero, and then you get Zion and Chet and Julius. Then you get Scotty Barnes, Jalen Johnson. So there's going to be moments. Then again, on the other side of it, the backups. LeBron, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, Karl Anthony Towns, Josh Hart, Evan Mobley, Dean Wade. These are guys that I think that, again, we have to see it.
Neek could guard Dean Wade.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are guys that, yes, we have to see it, but Alex Caruso for Chet Holmgren, which was just crazy. And then a couple rookies in there, and your boy Peyton Watson backing up Aaron Gordon, Derek Jones Jr. These are guys that I think, again, he's still got to get on the court. But my biggest takeaways from this outstanding interview, and it'll be up for you if you're just getting in your car. Alan, I missed it. You can rewind on YouTube, and we'll have it on it's on the Sacktown Sports app, and we will have that on YouTube for you as well to make it easier to find in a little bit of time here. But the biggest takeaways, being able to guard the 4, and he's continuing. Everyone continues to say, yeah, the playmaking, we just didn't know that he had that in his bag. And I think that's what separates him from Keon Ellis and Devin Carter. I think those are the 2 biggest things that separates him from Keon Ellis and Devin Carter. And I'm going to go a little bit hyperbole now because it's been a very optimistic day. But if you give me Malik Monk style playmaking with the defense that's comparable to Keon Ellis and Devin Carter, again, that is a type of player that the Kings have not had. Now, that's not to say that he's going to be all world, all rookie, whatever, but that is a specific type of player to have that size to if you make comparable to Malik Monk and you defend comparable to Keon Ellis and Devin Carter and you shoot comparable to Keon Ellis, that is something that we have not had on this team for a very long time. And it's exciting. It's exciting. And shout out to Neek Clifford. Send me your recommendations and I'll try to get them over to Neek.
Wanted that soul food.
That's right.
Anyone got soul food?
I got some. No free promotion, but we'll get it over to Neek.
We'll be able to swing it by him.
That's right. Yeah. My other, I guess, takeaways here, just off the top of my head, just how comfortable it seems like he already is, and that goes to a note of drafting somebody who is the oldest draft pick in the first round, and that's what they got in Neek Clifford, and how it's just an easier transition for guys like that. You can argue ceilings if you want, but it's an easier transition for guys like that. And I think with that, to be honest, also comes expectations, and whether or not, Neek, I don't think Neek has the same expectations as a normal rookie because they drafted him at 23. And I think that's fair, and I think he probably understands that. He's not going to be viewed like these 18 and 19-year-olds. And honestly, I don't think he should be.
No, and I understand that, and that's why he's going to carry a different role. I mean, we talk about it, he's basically the same age as Jake LaRavia now. Yeah. So if you're plugging him into the Jake LaRavia role, which, in fairness, LaRavia played a little 4. I know he only played like 17 games with the Kings, but he technically played some 4 in the games that we saw Jake LaRavia. Mm-hmm. If you're drafting an older rookie, you are expecting him to plug into the position. Again, it's mostly the same roster, so you plug him into the Jake LaRavia role in the short term, and that's kind of his way to get his footing, not necessarily on the team, but just in the league, right? Maybe the role will grow over time, but for now, you're the backup 3, you're primarily guarding wings, and that's going to be your way into the rotation and your way into the NBA.
From UPS Chris, He says, well, he's asking if we're going to be live at Golden One for the home opener. I'll get some more news on that, UPS Chris. That's normally, I think, the afternoon show. But look, our promo team is working their tails off. Our sales team always working their tails off. Our boss is always working his tail off. So I hope I'm out there. I love being out there saying what's up to everyone. But he also says, Kyle, because we were talking to Nick Clifford, and he said soul food. He also said Mexican food, where we're trying to find Drew Eubanks some seafood as well. So we're taking all those recommendations. UPS Chris also says Happy National Taco Day. Now, I'm trying to confirm whether today's actually National Taco Day or if it's just Taco Tuesday.
I believe it is National Taco Day on a Tuesday.
Well, it would have to be on a Tuesday. So, Nick Clifford, after that crazy workout, they've been practicing all day. He deserves some good tacos. So, we will take 916-339-1140 or the SAC chat as well. Kyle has the correct connections to get this over to Nick Clifford. Send us in the best place to get tacos, and we will make sure that Nick Clifford gets the recommendations.
Okay.
And whatever name we hear the most, that's who we will send over to Nick Clifford. We're not going to send him 12, but if you guys are aligned and we keep seeing the same name, we will get those taco recommendations over to Nick Clifford.
Or if we're lucky, maybe we'll have Nick Clifford on again at some point this year. And we can send him those recommendations then.
Today's
just make a running list.
Today's the day, though. Me personally, normally I go, when I'm really hungry, I'll go burrito, 2 tacos. But they're street tacos.
Oh, okay. So you're going not the Gym Boys size tacos.
No. Shout out Gym Boys, though. I had 12 of them.
Hi, Chris.
It was 7. Hey, Chris.
But yeah, I would say the big taco, you can go 2 or 3, but you're just doing the street tacos. That means the burrito is really what you're craving.
That's right. You get the burrito, and then Chris Verlad's walking out of here. You get the burrito, and then the tacos. He should go home,
man. He's been here for a while.
No, he just never leaves. I think he lives here. I think Chris Verlad might have a sleeping bag.
Chris Verlad's probably slept over at the station.
Yeah.
I've slept over at the station before. I'm sure he has, working those night shifts.
What's the point? So shout out to Nick Clifford, and thank you to the Kings for making him available to us. Great job, Kyle, getting all that organized.
Also, just to confirm, National Taco Day in the U.S. is the first Tuesday of every October.
So it's
a floating date. It's the first Tuesday. But in Mexico, it's March 31st.
Okay.
And in France, it's July 31st.
See, man, I'm not supposed to be eating out. And now UPS Chris is National Taco Day. So now, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? You have to eat whatever it is on the national day.
I mean, you don't have to, but I'm sure Gym Boys probably has some sort of deal today.
That's true. I think I need another week.
Before you can go back.
I think I need another week.
Well, you're going to do it again next year, right?
Yeah, well, they want me to. 916-339-1140, shifting gears here to Adam Schefter. And what Adam Schefter had to say about the Brock Purdy, Mac Jones battle, and whether or not there is any actual QB controversy at all. Here it is.
The environment has elevated his performance, and there aren't a lot of people who would have thought on Thursday Night Football that Mac Jones would have led that team to the victory that he did. But they've rebuilt him, they've reprogrammed him, and he's playing the way that they thought he would when he left Alabama, and they considered taking him. Like they initially traded up with the idea that they were going to pick him and fell in love with Trey Lance along the process. Now Mac is back there playing exceptionally well. No, I still think it is absolutely Brock Purdy's job. I don't even think it's a question. Mac Jones did say the right things, because I think that's the real situation right now, where he's going to be in a situation where he's called upon when Brock's not playing, and he'll step in and play the way he did. It was fantastic. And he's got a 2-year contract. So he's going to be there for a couple of years unless all of a sudden he's got value. But Brock Purdy, they just paid, and he's going to be the guy.
That was Adam Schefter. And I do wonder if there is a world, to Adam Schefter's point, he's saying basically Mac Jones did the Mac Jones thing, or did the athlete speak, but he's also saying that's the reality. So why would Mac Jones say something differently? Now, so that begs the question with me, does Adam Schefter believe that Mac Jones could have said something differently if he didn't think that was the case? I don't think so, because You can't say it. You can't go back into that locker room. You just have to say the right thing. But Adam Schefter is saying, yeah, he was doing the athlete speak thing, but at the same time, there was nothing else for him to say. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, as I'm very, very excited for Niners Bucks coming up on the 12th. But it's not about whether or not they will actually there's actually a controversy. It's more so about just a philosophical question. 916-339-1140. How much better is Brock Purdy than Mac Jones? Because you know what? The funny thing is, and I got caught up in it. I got my Mac Jones I still got my Mac Jones sunglasses on, and I got caught up in it last week because I was just excited to watch. But we just talked about a specific example as to why everybody needs to chill out on the Mac Jones thing. Because we were just talking about Joshua Dobbs. And Joshua Dobbs, that's why I'm so excited about this Bucks-Niners game, because Joshua Dobbs would go places, and every year for 2 games, Joshua Dobbs would look like a franchise guy.
He'd do it sometimes in 2 places in 1 year.
Literally. But more than 2 games, and he turns into a pumpkin. So Mac Jones, he's on a nice roll here. We'll see what happens against Tampa and what they're able to do. He might get some of the Avengers back, but this thing is still early. We've seen the Nick Foles of the world. We've seen guys get hot. The same way as we're talking a little bit of baseball, a team could get hot that has no business winning it. Even the Giants were never terrible when they won it, but they just get ridiculously hot. The Diamondbacks, they didn't win the whole thing, but they get hot and they get to the World Series when they really had no business there. You can get hot as an athlete and kind of outkick your coverage. That doesn't necessarily mean that's who you are. So I like Mac Jones, and I'm going to continue having this conversation because I think it's fun to rile Niner fans up. But we do need to see more. We've seen quarterbacks go crazy for half a season. We saw Sam Darnold do it for a season. We saw Geno Smith do it for a season and a half. That doesn't really change how anybody feels about them. Did anybody else look at Sam Darnold differently? I mean, I guess the Seahawks did, but did anybody else say, now Sam Darnold's a guy? He just had there's a difference between being a guy and having a good season. And I think that Mac Jones could have a good season or a good run and not necessarily be a guy. I think that was the same conversation with Brock after the first season. Is Brock a guy or was this just a good season? I think there might still be some questions about that now from people that we've seen Brock without the Avengers. But Mac Jones, as much as I'm having fun with it, I do realize there have been plenty of Jeremy Lin runs throughout every season. There is a Jeremy Lin run, and normally with Tyrod Taylor or some random QB goes on a Jeremy Lin run, and people wonder, the difference is Mac first rounder, Mac's still fairly young. That's the difference.
Well, I think the players that are supremely talented that go to bad organizations, that's the one where I think you have the formula for success, right? I know Darnold was also a 49er, but he's a great example too. Sam Darnold spent the first 4 years of his career with the Jets and the Panthers. And by the way, when he was on the Panthers, remember, he had like that one really good run where they started like 3-0. He had a Josh Dobbs run on the Panthers. So that kind of told me that, like, hey, this guy's very talented. He's never been put in a position to succeed. Therefore, he could actually be something good. Maybe not a franchise quarterback, but he could actually be somebody's starting quarterback in the NFL. And that's where I think Mac Jones, Mitchell Trubisky is another example. Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, he definitely had a Jeremy Lin run somewhere. Well, that was Chicago.
Well, yeah, but he went from Chicago to Buffalo, where he never played, and then went to Pittsburgh because kind of the same thing. Supremely talented quarterback. Relatively speaking. I know Mac Jones is a first-round pick, but he's not what Sam Darnold was supposed to be coming out of school. But supremely talented quarterback, put in a bad position, gets a second chance with a competent organization and actually looks really good. That, I think, is more normal.
Yeah, and the Mac Jones thing, as I had kind of mentioned about his time in Jacksonville, his QB record, he was 2-7. Okay, he started 7 games, he was 2-5, and he started 7 games. So Mac Jones now is 27 years old. And like I said, there were definitely some flashes where he looked good. It's just nobody was paying attention to the Jaguars at that point. And so funny, what a dark time. You had the Jaguars thinking we don't even have a guy in Trevor Lawrence and we're paying him all this money. You have Mac Jones running around everywhere. And a year later, Mac Jones is balling out with the Niners. And Trevor Lawrence last night, I can't get over. He looked like Josh Allen. He looked like Josh Allen last night.
Yes, because Trevor Lawrence I've been trying to tell you, he's really good at football.
Look, I've been a Trevor Lawrence guy. I love sunshine. I'm just saying, we haven't seen, Kyle, you're not going to gaslight me. He's never looked like that, Kyle.
Yes, he has.
No, he has not.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't.
That second season, Doug Peterson's first year, he looked like he did.
The playoff season.
Yes, the playoff season. He looked like that at times.
That's how he got paid.
Yes. Well, I mean, he was fine the next year, but the team stunk.
I'm just saying, he never looked like that, man.
No, I look, Trevor Lawrence has been set up. Look, people talk about all the time, is it the organization or is it the quarterback? That's one I know for sure. It's the organization, right? He is the example because he is so talented. He has survived where Sam Darnold's, Justin Fields, Mitchell Trubisky's, Mac Jones's, guys like that have failed despite being first-round picks in organizations that just ruin quarterbacks, right? Bryce Young is another example.
Yeah, he done.
That organization is ruining him, but he's going to survive because he's that talented.
There are also, and again, Trevor Lawrence hasn't won anything yet, but there are also situations where you keep the guy and you shouldn't have. Hello, Miami Dolphins. They said, no, we're going to stick with Tua. And and part of it is Justin Herbert staring them in the face and kind of regretting that. And they've said, no, we're going to pay Tua. No, don't do that.
See, I don't know. The Dolphins one is weird because I think it might have been a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for them. Like, if they had not paid Tua and done the franchise tag thing, I think they would have fired Mike McDaniel by now, and they probably would have blown up. But they're ending up there anyways, so it's kind of like they were screwed no matter what.
Look.
With the Jaguars, cool. They haven't won yet. You know who else hasn't won with the Jaguars? Literally everyone who's ever been part of the Jaguars.
I hear you, but I'll tell you this right now. And of course, I'm going to take it here. Mike McDaniel, you had a good run. I don't even know if he should be another head coach. He'll probably have to take a step back, and there's only one place to go. Chip Kelly, thank you for your service. It's time to kick rocks, buddy. Look, Pete Carroll, you can keep Pete Carroll, that's fine. Get Mike McDaniel in the building in Vegas. I don't know about Geno, but go get Mac. I guess Mac Jones is under contract. Go get somebody other than Geno, okay?
Oh, we should see who's available next year for the Raiders to take instead of a quarterback.
You know what? I'll give Geno the start of the season with Mike McDaniel to see what can happen. But if he starts throwing it, forgetting what team he plays for again, then I'm done with him. But get Mike McDaniel to Vegas. You get him out there, fresh start with Tom Brady. That's when you're cooking, Kyle.
Oh, Allen, can I interest you? Mike McDaniel, Pete Carroll, Aaron Rodgers. One last run.
You know what, man?
Give him a bunch of money.
Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers. 1 year. I don't know how long Pete's going to be coaching anyway. It can't be worse. It cannot be worse.
All right, here's another option for you. Mike McDaniel, Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson.
No, thank you.
Yeah, shut that down.
Maybe Sierra can have a bunch of concerts, right, out there in Vegas, and that'd be cool just to get your money right. But no, thank you. No, thank you to that. No.
All right, I'm running out of options here, but Mike McDaniel, Pete Carroll, Zach Wilson.
Where is he? Is he on the?
He is with Mike McDaniel right now. We're 1-2 injury away from Zach Wilson going in.
I mean, could he be the next Mac Jones? Could he be
Not
the
with
next?
the Raiders. He's got to.
No. He ain't gonna. No. You got to stay out of Vegas, buddy. No, you cannot come in Vegas.
But again, supremely talented quarterback put in a terrible position.
You know what? and we got to get to the other side. Based on how Geno looks right now and how much I said that the Raiders have been a cash grab, and maybe you get Sierra out there to have a residency, go get Jameis. Just go get Jameis.
What?
Just go get Jameis.
Look, I've said before, like, if your team is going to go 5-12, be a fun 5-12 instead of a boring 5-12, and Jameis is always a fun 5-12. But, like, Jameis should never be your initial plan.
And Geno should?
Yes.
No.
Geno Smith.
Geno is slightly better than Jameis.
Geno Smith just got $45 million.
What does that have to do with? There are overpaid people everywhere.
Yeah, but Jameis got $2 million.
Hey man, yeah, and that's the Brock Purdy. That is the poor man's Brock Purdy to Mac Jones comparison.
Allen, I know you're down bad right now as a Raider fan, but look, even the Giants, the New York Giants, said we can't have Jameis as our number one. Even they signed Russell Wilson because they were like, we can't do the Jameis as the starter.
These are mistakes. On the other side, we continue the conversation. What happened last night in the NFL as we make our way to Week 6. Major League Baseball playoffs going on as well. And, of course, more Kings talk. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767. I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
If you love to drive or even not so much, take your car to the place with the magic touch, Big O. Big O Tires.
Trust the team with expertise that goes beyond just tires. Visit your locally owned Big O Tires. Now through October 19th, get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nitto, Nexen, or Toyo brand tires with installation purchase. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Going to be joined by Whitey Gleason and Kayla Anderson in about 15 minutes. Thank you to Nick Clifford. That is up on YouTube right now, by the way. If you missed that interview, we were joined by rookie sensation, or he's about to be, Nick Clifford. Oh, by the way, just while we're doing the optimistic thing, yeah, he's gonna be on the all-rookie team, probably first team. And you know what? Again, talking about expectations, if you look at the average age from the draft picks, and it's 2 rounds, whatever the case may be. And what are there 3 or are there just 2? First team, second team? Is it just first team, second team?
Yeah, first team, second team.
I feel, honestly, like he should be. I'm be honest with you. I know there's a bit of a logjam, but if you are a 23-year-old drafted in the first round, I feel like you kind of should be on the all-rookie team, barring injury.
It's tough, though, because there's only 10 spots, right? So I know some teams draft for development.
Yeah, and then you'll have the Jalen Wells that you don't see them coming, but you got the first, obviously, you got the first round and the second round. I think and maybe it's just an unfair expectation for me, but I think that the expectation should be that Nick Clifford, because honestly, I think it connects to the Kings being successful. I think that, again, going back to how the Kings are going to sneak in to the playoffs or be competitive on that level, Nick Clifford needs to be on the All-NBA. I think that would be on the list, right? You put on the list, obviously DeMar being DeMar, Domantas Sabonis returning back to who he's been, Zach LaVine, 50, 40, 90, Malik Monk, 6-man, all the names that we've said. I would Keegan Murray taking that leap, shooting 40%, and Doug wants him to shoot 15 threes a game, whatever it is. On that list would also be Nick Clifford playing at an all-rookie level.
All right, so I went back to last year's all-rookie team. I'm just trying to gauge what picks were what, right? So Castle was Rookie of the Year, obviously. He was 4. Edey was 9. Reese Shea 1, Sar 2, Jalen Wells somewhere in the 30s, but he made first team all-rookie. Matas Buzelis, your guy, he was 11, something like that?
Yeah. These guys, this was a weak draft. That didn't even feel like these guys had good seasons.
I mean, I'm just picking a draft, right? It's just the idea of how often does someone pick 24 or lower end up getting
But I'm just saying, these are mostly guys that were just in the rotation every day.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if we go all the way back, right, like Tari Eason, I see, got an all-rookie team. Walker Kessler was all-rookie first team because Walker Kessler was getting rotation minutes with the Jazz.
Exactly.
So I guess, maybe to your point, wow, I just glanced. I saw Chris Duarte made an all-rookie team.
Yeah. Michael Carter-Williams, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Not sure what happened there. But anyways, I guess to your point, the people who get the most runway are the ones most likely to win Rookie of the Year, make all rookie teams. And Nick Clifford probably is going to get some runway.
Yeah.
Heck, he's 1 injury away from starting.
Yeah, exactly. So great stuff from Nick Clifford. Said he is expected to guard 1 through 4. Yeah, I just think the best part of this is that Keegan Murray should probably not have to guard it. He's going to get switched on to point guards, but Keegan Murray is not going to be guarding a lot of point guards this season.
At least he shouldn't.
No.
I mean, I still don't know what to do with the Keon Ellis thing, right? Because Keon Ellis is a great defender, and especially off ball, but they put him on Harden or Brunson, and he can't do anything. So I don't really
Harden's
know.
and I've said, people that have seen Harden in person, that brother is a tank. He is a tank. So Keon Ellis, here is the double.
He lost a lot of pounds. He was fat.
He's the two-sided coin with Keon Ellis. Owns Steph Curry, gets owned by Jalen Brunson.
But Steph Curry, we even admit, it's kind of a combo guard at times.
And to be honest with you, the whole own thing with Steph, a lot of the times that stretch where Keon has faced the Warriors, they've just been bad. It's been Steph Curry and Guy Santos, and even Pajemski missed time. So a fully loaded Warriors team, I would like to see how that defense would look. I'll put it to you like that.
Well, I know when it was before, I guess pre-Jimmy trade, I remember they just got to a point where it's just spam double team.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. There was the play-in game where that was legit, and then everything else was just spamming double teams.
Yeah, which worked most of the time because they literally had no disrespect to Kuminga, no other scoring option.
But then they tried to do it once the Warriors actually had players, and they got burned.
Oh, they got crushed.
Yeah.
At least that first one, they got absolutely crushed. Yeah, so, Keegan probably shouldn't be guarding ones, but this is the argument for why, you have to have defense at every position and why having the Herb Joneses and the Jaden McDaniels and guys like that is so important because everyone just switches every time.
Mm-hmm.
They just always get the screen, switch the matchup, try and get the big man on the point guard, try and get the point guard on the big man. Everyone's doing that every time. So you need to have 5 people who can guard at least let's say 4 because I know they're going to hide DeRozan. You need to have 4 people that can guard semi-competently, or you're the Knicks, who I keep trying to tell people were a terrible defense last year.
Yeah,
because their 2 best players can't play defense.
You can't stand the Knicks. You cannot stand Mikal Bridges, and these guys can defend. You cannot stand the Knicks. You hate New York, okay? And I don't understand why. And I don't like the Knicks, but I know why I don't like the Knicks, and I admit it. I need you to admit you do not like the Knicks.
I don't like the fact that people didn't understand because everyone last year was like, oh, the Knicks, this great defensive team. No, they were trash on defense last year. And by the way, you know who infuriates me? Carl. That's part of why.
Okay, now it's all coming out.
It's not
You're just
the
like
Knicks.
anybody else that doesn't like Carl Anthony Towns because he's got a couple different voices.
It's not that. It's that Karl Anthony Towns could be a Hall of Famer if he just agreed to be a big man. He just wants to sit out and shoot threes.
He's the best big man 3-point shooter ever, according to him.
A worthless skill set. You know what that is? Worthless. You're wasting Hall of Fame big man abilities. And also, he cost me Taco Bell last year.
Yeah. Now the real thing comes out.
Yeah. It's not the Knicks. I just don't like Carl.
Okay.
And also, Mikal Bridges is not a good defender.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. The nerd stats tell you he's not a good defender.
We don't care. I'm an eye test guy. Okay? If you look, it's like these guys that just look like they're working really hard. That guy's playing good defense. If you slap the floor, you're playing good defense to me. Go out there and slap the floor.
If you slap the floor, that's how I know you're a terrible defender.
I don't care about all of these. What are these? The A LeBron, D LeBron, the U LeBron, me LeBron. He's drinking Hennessy somewhere. I don't care, and I cannot believe he did that ad. By the way, just ridiculous. And I'm gonna sound old man because I got the gray hairs. Michael Jordan would never do something like that.
What do you mean? Michael Jordan did that all the time.
No, he wouldn't.
With the Hanes commercials?
Yeah, you got to have commercials. Not like that. Not like that. It's ridiculous.
Also,
man.
Just because I'm on this one still, I'm not going to let it go. That podcast with Brunson and Hart and the white guy, it's not good. Just going to say it now.
What, the roommate show?
Whatever it's called, where they just call Tibbs every time.
Yeah, they just call Tibbs, and Josh Hart says Jalen Brunson's head's big, and then the episode ends.
And then they try breast milk.
Yeah, oh.
Yeah.
Did you see that about the ice cream?
Yes, I saw the Josh Hart having breast milk ice cream. I guess we should explain that to people, is that Kayla's just learning about this for the first time. But yeah, Josh Hart wanted to try breast milk, and now he's just made it a thing.
Wow, we were so close. One more segment, man.
Yeah, so anyways, that's why I don't like the Knicks.
Wow. One more. Whitey and Kayla are going to pull this thing back. Kyle I cannot believe this. Cannot believe this. One more segment with you, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767. I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. We've got you covered with outdoor power equipment from Cobalt and everything you need to weatherproof your deck with Trex decking. Plus, with lawn care from Scott's and, of course, Pit Boss grills and accessories, you can get a home field advantage all season long. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Sacktown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers win an absolute thriller in overtime over LA, 26-23, to improve the 4-1. San Francisco getting a critical stop on 4th and 1 at the end of the game with LA driving inside the red zone. Mac Jones is now 3-0 as the 49ers starting quarterback. The Niners are back in action in Tampa Bay. Catch the game Sunday beginning at 9 o'clock right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
It's championship night at Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 11th. Pro late models, mini stocks, legends, pure stocks, and mini modifieds in an all-out war for the crown. Kids 10 and under are always free. Grab your crew and hit Stockton99.com for tickets and info. Then be there when the dust settles and legends are made.
Attempting to hijack back the show from Kyle Ledbetter. If you just get in the car and you missed the last 3 minutes of
anything
that
for ratings,
segment,
huh, Alan? Wow.
If you missed the last 3 minutes of that segment, good. We're joined by Whitey Gleason and Kayla Anderson.
I thought you had higher standards. Whatever.
And it wasn't me.
That was a very interesting topic.
Whose name is on the show?
Yeah. Sure.
Alan just surrendered at some point. He's like, "All right, let's go break."
Yeah. This is that's where we're at.
All of a sudden, I just say breast milk, and he gets uncomfortable.
Yeah. There we are, Whitey. No, there's no segment I'm even going to attempt.
How did Schmel and Miles do last night?
I'm glad you asked. So
I worry about him.
So basically, I was incorrect with Etienne. He was over. He was over the line. He was at 12.
Yeah.
Catches a ball in the backfield, gets bumped down to 9. So I missed there. But Kayla, and I wanted to tell you, man, it's a good thing. You know, Schmallen, he always puts in a couple tickets, and one did do well for him. That Trevor Lawrence rush yards,
oh my gosh,
that thing went crazy.
Whoa. That was, first of all, I think we all knew Trevor has that in his game. That's what he
Yes.
was at Clemson.
Exactly.
But I think he's finally feeling confident back in himself.
Right.
To then start to use his legs again. That's his whole package. Like, that's what makes him special.
He looked like Josh Allen.
He really did.
He looked like Josh Allen
What do you have,
last night.
54 yards on the ground or
It was
something
incredible,
like that?
which always makes me wonder, and I know he's not an older quarterback, but it does make me wonder, the same way Justin Herbert's running more, has he been healthy, right? Is he healthier now than maybe in years past? Because I think at one point he was wearing a knee brace, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he wasn't healthy, because last night, I mean, pound for pound, maybe Josh Allen when he gets going, but he looked, I mean, he was definitely as fast as Justin Herbert, possibly faster.
Absolutely.
So
and I
that
mean,
was
he
impressive.
made it look easy.
Mhm.
Even when you fall to the ground on a play like that where you know you don't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
you know the circumstances, and you still find a way to get up and get into the end zone. Like, and he's a big dude, guys.
Yeah.
He's like 4 or 5.
At least.
Yeah. So that was impressive.
Whitey, what'd you think about the game last night?
Well, I think it's just part of the, the continuing evolution of the position, which gets us back to your guy, Mac Jones, and how he's never going to be as good as Brock Purdy.
Right. Well, okay.
Yes.
Unless you can process at a high
You
level.
can't. It's like, there's 18 yards clear ahead of me.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, I know he has tried from time to time. And yeah, last week when we were talking about Brock and Mac, we had them labeled as the stuck in the mud quarterbacks, and there's only about 5 as far as starters are concerned, because Mac is the starter right now. But there's Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers. There's not a lot.
Aaron Rodgers used to actually,
and he used to. He
have
used
wheels,
to.
and Brock I think still does, just not when he has a turf.
No, I'm not
field.
counting Brock. I'm not counting Brock as stuck in the mud. And then there's some guys that just kind of refuse to run. So yeah,
Drake May's running a little too.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can't forget about sneaky Drake May, because he's pretty athletic too.
I know there are a bunch of Josh Allen hybrids or disciples running around. I don't know what's going on. I wanted to have a conversation, and we spoke with Nick Clifford earlier today.
I heard.
That was good.
That was a lot of fun. But I want to keep it with football, because with the MLB playoffs going on and the Shohei stuff, and Shohei looked really good as a pitcher, there have been some conversations. Does he need to do both? When he was a starter, I remember he's a much better hitter, and people were saying he's above average pitcher, but he's not elite the same way he's an elite hitter. Travis Hunter. The Travis Hunter thing and Eli, do either of you watch the Eli Peyton Manning?
I haven't in a while. I have watched it.
It does it for you? Because
Not
it does
anymore.
not do it for
Doesn't
me.
do it for me anymore.
I'm just watching the game. I just want to watch the game.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk to The
Same
Rock
here.
and Kevin Hart. And I don't. But people love it. They keep bringing it back.
Kevin Hart was on again?
I don't know.
I
Probably.
see, and that's the other thing. They're like recycling now, I feel like.
And he's just like, I can't play the game, and they want me to play, I can't play the game. So anyway, as far as what Eli had to say,
You're
Eli,
often mistaken for Kevin Hart, aren't
from
you?
time to time. I don't know
That's
why.
a
but-
good impression, though.
I think he's short, Tim.
Because
I think he's short.
everyone continues to say it, so I have to have one ready for
Right.
people. But Eli got in trouble with the Colorado crew because he said that he was talking to Jaguars head coach, who told him that I guess he heard that that Travis Hunter was not practicing with the offense at Colorado. So Dion, his 8 sons, the content all the
I
content
saw
people,
Dion was pushing back on something.
Yeah, they said he did practice with both. I don't know where you heard that, even though Eli said he got it from Liam Cohen. Anyway, as far as Travis Hunter is concerned, what is the line between being an elite wide receiver and an elite cornerback and just the ability to do it? I'm trying to figure out if this thing is actually necessary. Can't they just is there no wide receiver better than Travis Hunter? When you watch that crazy catch, okay, and I remember Richard Sherman saying he was a vanilla wide receiver. Is there no wide receiver better than Travis Hunter? And is there no cornerback better than Travis Hunter? Does he really have to play both? That's what I'm struggling with.
No, I know a lot of people want to see it
Mhm.
because it hasn't really been done at this level for the whole time and be successful. Because this is the NFL, guys. This is not college anymore. There's another standard. The guys are bigger. The defenses or the offenses are tougher. And so pick one for Travis Hunter because he's a heck of an athlete and let him excel at the one freaking position. I don't care what it is, but let him pick one so he can actually improve year to year like regular players do. You can't do it on both sides.
I would guess that eventually when he starts feeling the wear and tear, he'll be forced. He won't be able to do both. But now he's so young and it's what he wants to do. So, but at some point, within the next 3 years, I would think. Maybe sooner rather than later, he's going to have to pick one or the other.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw I don't know if because it's confusing because he'll take plays off, but but he was banged up a little bit for a half second, and he ended up coming back in the game.
That's
and
right.
This is what we're at game 5 of the first season of your career, and it's just a lot. I'll say though, being the Jaguars and wanting to be kind of in the news cycle, that's one way to do it.
Sure.
Maybe it's, hey, let's do it for 3 years. The fans are going to love it. Everybody, Sports Center is going to continue to talk about it. And then to your point, Whitey, after a couple years, we will just move on from there. Speaking of moving on, the MLB playoffs have just been a nightmare for me. I was texting all my buddies from Philly yesterday.
How do you bunt there, Alan?
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the bunt.
Alan,
Honestly,
how do you bunt there?
it was
You
just
got runner
because
at second with nobody
there's no
out.
outs.
Yeah.
There's no outs. I think the crazy thing is, as much as I don't disagree with you, and it hates me to say this about the Smurfs, that was a ridiculous play from Max Muncy and
It
Mookie
really
Betts.
was. It really was.
I know it's a cliche, but maybe 8-9 times out of 10 they don't do that. And Castellanos, I mean, if you're gonna book it, just book it. He's looking around. I don't know what the heck he was looking for, but that series is over.
Yeah.
How do you not win a game in? They should, when they were throwing snowballs at Santa Claus, they should have been throwing cheesesteaks at all those guys.
Yep.
Your big money guys. Oh, Kyle Schwarber, where were you?
Well, where was Bryce Harper?
I knew he was going to strike out in that at-bat. I
what
knew
the heck?
it. Throw some cheesesteaks. Daquan Plowden from the Kings, he told me he likes, what do you say, Kyle? Salt, pepper, ketchup, and pickles.
Sure.
Put all
There it
that
is.
on the cheesesteak and chuck it.
At who?
At all of them.
All players.
But not the
Collectively.
manager. That's who I'd chuck it at, but not you.
I mean, you can chuck it at him too.
Okay.
They've been the Phillies, and I said they might have been. I think they're the Niners of Major League Baseball because they continue to get better. They're always in the mix of a successful run with nothing to show for it. They got to the World Series, didn't win it. Niners get to the Super Bowl, didn't win it. I don't know what they do. I don't know. The good thing is Bryce has signed these contracts in baseball. He's signed for 27 years.
I was just going to say, I mean, he's still there after, and that
Yeah.
contract, I feel like, was 10 years ago.
I also saw an insane stat that's like, even though Bryce Harper is like 1 for 9 in this playoffs, he still has the highest playoff OPS of the last 10 years in baseball.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you got him. I love Trey Turner. Love the way he plays the game. I just don't know what the Phillies do. And maybe it's more the reason I'm not giving kudos to the Smurfs simply because I hate them. But it's also because we've seen this happen with the Dodgers before, or the Phillies before. Diamondbacks, they did it.
Yes.
This is every year with the
Since
Phillies.
they went to the World Series, I believe their postseason record is really abysmal.
Yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Swept by the Mets?
I get it.
Yeah.
Last year? They lost to the Mets. I can't remember if it was a sweep.
It's the lady that stole the ball. She cursed him.
That's right.
What was it, Karen?
Oh,
Karen?
yeah,
I mean, she
that's
stole the ball. She
right.
cursed the whole organization.
Yeah, you got to give it back. It's like
Yeah.
when you
Done.
you go to a volcano and you can't take the rock
Yes.
from the volcano. That's bad luck.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you can't. Or you can't take sand from a beach.
Sure.
Or a
Really?
shell. Or is it a shell?
You can't take shell from Hawaii or sand. Just take
Or there's a
anything from
volcano.
Hawaii.
There's also a volcano.
Okay.
Hawaii,
This is-
you're
I
not
don't mess
supposed to
with
take
volcanoes.
stuff.
I saw Dante's Peak. I don't mess with volcanoes.
Okay.
I'm just,
I
I'm
like
just
that
saying.
movie.
What's coming up on the show today? More volcano talk?
Who was that? Could you play that again, please? It relates to Alan's question.
I think he's short, Tim.
No, that doesn't.
I think he's short.
He's going to be on the show. Guy Haberman.
I
Guy
think he's
Haberman.
short, Tim.
Yeah, we heard it.
I think he's short.
Yeah, buddy. It's bad audio. You know what I mean? We don't got to keep playing.
What is
it.
it labeled back there, by the way?
Yeah.
Is it Alan's clip?
Yeah, for real. That's crazy.
It just says short.
Oh.
A lot of
So
different.
he's going to be on.
Okay, so
I don't know
Guy
why that
Haberman's gonna
offends
be
you
on.
so much. Are you a Rams fan?
I think he's
Yeah,
short,
I am a Rams
Tim.
fan.
Oh.
I'm a big. And
No,
everybody tried to say Puka wasn't a guy. Puka's my guy. He's the best. He's the best wide receiver.
Why
Big
he's
Stafford guy.
So the day after the game, the morning
I heard.
show,
Yeah,
who
I
is
know Kyle.
they're mad at him. Let's just say this: Chris Verlot is still mad at him because he said that they were stealing guests at media day.
Not stealing.
Oh, I remember hearing
Hoarding.
this.
yeah,
and
so
they were.
Chris Verlot's
Yeah.
still mad at him. Just keeps playing this
Then don't
sound.
hoard guests and be a team player.
I think he's short,
It's very
Tim.
simple.
I think he's short.
It's very simple. And I don't need you playing it, Kyle.
So
Okay.
Guy Haberman is going to join us today.
Guy Haberman's
4:30.
joining you. All
Yeah.
right.
And Kayla, of course. with
Of
us
course.
today.
Kayla Anderson joining you. And it's
Guest
4
hosting
hours.
again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 4 hours with
I mean,
you.
we'll see. That's the plan.
Yeah.
We may
Okay.
do 2 and go,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might walk
that-
out.
Hey, and you would be well within your right to do that. I'm not your boss. The other thing, Whitey, and I thought this was fascinating when it comes to the Kings. So Law Murray, who you've had on the show time and
I
time
thought
again.
he was on the show today because I heard you say he's on the afternoon show, and I was like, oh, great.
No, well, he's on with you a
Surprise
lot.
to me.
And he had a breakdown from The Athletic, and I thought it was fascinating because the average, based on point guard, all the positions, the Kings were 12th.
They did pretty well.
I was surprised when I saw that article. I was like, not bad.
And he had the centers probably lower than they should have been.
So why? How do you go from 12th to being picked 12th to finish in the West? How does that happen?
I don't know. Maybe Lyle Murray wouldn't pick him that low.
I'm telling you what.
We need to get him on some show.
That's right. I'm telling you what. You can't. There's not a lot of them running around that actually are being optimistic about the Kings. I'm telling you right now, the Blazers, they no offense.
I heard you.
Yeah, I heard
break it all down today.
No. I'm doing it again. Blazers, no offense. Okay, Mavericks, health questions.
The New Orleans Pools are terrible.
No, well, the Pelicans, they might. You never know with the Pelicans.
Oh, the Pelicans.
Okay, Trey Murphy, Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney,
Grand Theft Alvarado.
The Spurs can't shoot. That's a word.
Oh, yeah, and I heard Kyle refuting that. He said, you can't use that as an excuse.
Guy. He's a Spurs guy.
That's not a good enough excuse.
No, it's coming out of the Riverwalk. They can't throw a rock into the river. That's what's coming out in San Antonio.
He literally wrote a book about the Spurs.
That's what's coming out into San Antonio.
Really?
Yeah, it's right there, just staring at. Let me read the first page. The Spurs are bricks.
What?
Yes.
The
Kyle
Spurs.
Ledbetter wrote that book.
A history on the brickness of the Spurs. That's what
Spurs were 20th in three-point last year. The Kings were 19th.
Yeah. Well, this is not about the Kings because they're going to take a leap. Thanks to guys like Neek Clifford. Thank you, Neek Clifford, for joining us. That was outstanding for our Super Secret Surprise Kings segment. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter and the Kings team organizing all that. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters, and continue to keep an eye on our Sacramento Kings Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. There's going to be another secret keyword during the Drive Guys with Whitey Gleason, Kayla Anderson joining, and of course, Jay Johnson. And until tomorrow, secure the bag. Like to be.
I think he's short, Tim. I think he's short.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can